Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, and this is the Anti-War Rally Saturday. Hello, good evening. Welcome. Yeah, so we've got a lot of things happening. Many people are saying, wow, global climate change is really happening. And then Donald Trump goes to California and says, there is no drought here. So you've got such a disconnect in Washington, it's unbelievable. Hillary Clinton nearly dies about a week ago. And now she's out on the campaign trail again, looking like she's ready to, take on any heckler that comes her way. I ask you, how could she be turning blue, entering a van, and then 2 days later popping out in front of Greensboro, North Carolina, a crowd of a bunch of hecklers, and saying these things?
Want to have a conversation and other people can wave their arms and their signs, but I want you to think with me for a minute about how I certainly feel lucky. When I'm under the weather, I can afford to take a few. People like me, we're lucky.
Yeah, I would say so. You're pretty lucky to have been handpicked to be Hillary's replacement. So people are saying she's 50 pounds lighter. Is she a robot? Is she a clone? And I ask you, could she have been a clone? 40 years ago, Dolly the sheep was cloned. They've done a lot in 40 years. They could have easily created a clone of Hillary to step into the campaign. Her voice is pitch perfect, which means that she must have identical voice box to Hillary Clinton. It could also be a robot. We don't know. I'm just giving you guys thoughts because jumping out of a van after she's turning blue and being checked for palsy and Parkinson's disease out there in the field in 9/11. 6 days later, she's ready to go. And she claims she had pneumonia, which takes 5 to 8 weeks to get past. Now, I wouldn't be concerned about Hillary if the other side of the political spectrum was not as ugly and darkened by such a greedy man as Donald Trump. We are absolutely overwhelmed with how greedy this guy is. You can think what you want, but I can tell you this guy has secret society ties that make him a part of the establishment. He went over to the Scottish Rites Masons and asked for money. It's a violation of FPC law to ask for foreign money. This guy is willing to do whatever it takes to become president, and that's what makes him scary. What about his ties to Russian mobsters that live in his hotels? I mean, all of this should make you extremely concerned about our national security. Both of these people are dangerous to the future of this country. Now, if your vote counted more than at any time in history, this would be the time. You have reached the pinnacle of worrying about the future, just as I have. And I can tell you, unless you get an honest person to the presidency ASAP, we're never going to get accountability from these two parties. And we're never going to stop their corruption. It's so severe that they're willing to do whatever it takes. Taking out people is something, the Hillary death count. Have you heard about the Hillary death count? The body count? It's scary. Now, this is the deal. Trump would get my $400. Everybody would get $400 per month with my plan, which is really not that outrageous. Netherlands and Finland are doing something similar right now. And it's simply a plan to get everybody a little bit of money so that our economy picks up a little bit. Believe it or not, that 400 will definitely be an injection in our retail economy and our service economy. So if you look at the big problem as you project forward, they're going to be making our environment worse and worse, causing global climate changes because they're using techniques that you probably don't even think are happening, like dumping chemicals in the sky. They're willing to put us in war and send our young men and women off to fight endless wars for no reason, when I really believe that war is obsolete. And this is another plan out of their playbook, which they've been doing since they installed Hitler into power. These are the people that backed Hitler. These are the people that are backing Trump and Hillary. And if you don't understand that, you don't understand the need for a third party. I say bring our troops home. End the Federal Reserve. Trump will not comment about the Federal Reserve. because he's owned by these people. He won't say end the Federal Reserve. So if you're a Tea Party advocate, you need to vote for me. I'm just as much an advocate of ending the Federal Reserve as the Tea Party. We've been running that plan before 2010. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it. So everybody in America will get $400 per month under this plan who wants to qualify. Only U.S. adults, and this will eliminate all illegal aliens getting money. Much better than what we have today. I did not see your question, Fester. Let me see. So if you get so man outside us supporters, with enough of them would bet forces mainstream media to at least mention you. Because if you will always be behind the curtain, never ever publicly shown, don't you think that will affect your actually being president if never seen any public event? Fester, what I put in play many years ago was an amazing plan to break through the censorship that I knew was going to happen in my lifetime and in this election. The process goes on and on, but what isn't under their control is word of mouth. And the more people talking about me, the more the message is out there, we will reach a critical mass, Fester, where the media will have to actually deal with a third-party candidate, a legitimate third-party candidate, not some, thank you, Lemon, not some make-believe one like Gary Johnson or Jill Stein. You know, these people are completely in the bag of the New World Order. Gary Johnson actually said he wants to force children to be vaccinated at gunpoint. Now, he doesn't carry the banner for a third party. That would only be concerned about vaccinations, the dangers of vaccinations. He wants people to be forcing their kids to be vaccinated at gunpoint. But worse than that, we've got a situation revolving right now with a man who thinks that he can own the world because he's been borrowing money forever. And he won't commit to prosecuting Obama. When asked, will he prosecute Obama, he doesn't say anything. And when asked, even recently, his camp says that he thinks that Obama was born in the U.S. now. And when asked, will you say that, he won't say it because he wants to walk the line and not prosecute Obama. So I'm asking Trump supporters now and Tea Party supporters to vote for me, write my name in the upcoming election. We've got a revolution to manufacture in the next 50 days, and we can do it. But first we have to have some fun and listen to some music. Here's a new release on Trump by a Place Boy.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Get him out. Get him out of here. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Forget about those people. Make great deals. All right. So look, isn't it crazy? Isn't it ridiculous? What? Crazy. Ridiculous. Isn't it crazy? Isn't it ridiculous? What? Crazy. Ridiculous. Folks. Crazy. Folks. Crazy. Folks. Ridiculous. Folks. 10 feet higher. The wall just got 10 feet higher. That's right, 10 feet higher. I said the wall just got 10 feet higher. 10 feet higher. The wall just got 10 feet higher. 10 feet higher. I said the wall just got 10 feet higher.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. Well, I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Again, my idea I had in 1,000-mile fence, and he bastardized it and called it a wall. And then when asked how he was going to pay for it, he's stuck. He had no answers because he had listened to enough of our show, apparently. Dude, Guest 3300 says we only have 67 viewers. We have millions of viewers right now. When you got into the show, you saw a capacity server VIP screen. It's happening to thousands and thousands of people trying to get in here right now. They keep refreshing the video and they keep running into problems. All around the world, the server's coming out of Asia. They can't access the server here. This is a very controlled site, Vaughn is. We started getting censored completely about 9 months ago. And ever since the censorship started, the owner of this site has gone out and bought a new car, gone on a trip to Vegas, and we don't know where he's making all his money. So somebody's paying some serious money to have me shut down. Now, if you don't like what's happening here and you don't like the censorship, then get people to vote for me and write my name in. Tell people about what's going on here and how I've been censored. What's coming is a disaster. Look at their plan. The elitist plan is to get rid of 90% of the population. They have control over the existing political system to the max. They control every player out there except me. They even control Trump. He met with Henry Kissinger recently. But I can tell you, this is an ongoing problem that just doesn't get any better. They keep controlling the mainstream media and preventing me from getting talked about in a favorable way. Yet American people and people all around the world are saying, hey, check out this third party guy at America's Third Party. And we're getting all kinds of new people. I'm muting and banning people because, hello, I have to. Anyone who's saying derogatory things about us will be taken out of the show. Okay, we've got an interview here with Colin Powell's email. Let's take a look. Colin Powell has leaked some emails. He's said some pretty amazing things. He said that Clinton is dicking, he wrote this in an email, dicking a bunch of bimbos, and he doesn't like that. And he also said that this leaked Colin Powell email said that it confirms that Israel has 200 nukes all targeted on Tehran. Now, if they have 200 nukes, legally they're not allowed to get any money from us. Israel is not allowed to get any money from us because they haven't signed the nuclear non-proliferation agreement. And the worst part about this whole thing is that if they continue to get money and our country continues to support this Zionist nation of Israel, now I accept Israel as a nation state and I think they're doing fine, but we don't need to keep helping them. And they're controlling the world now and they're controlling us. Robert is supporting Trump? Oh, okay. Robert? Just be quiet. You guys can hang in there. You can still hang out. Now, multiple people have been injured during an outdoor explosion in Chelsea Saturday night. Chelsea, Manhattan. Okay, fire departments are on the scene. Wow, okay. A pipe bomb exploded in Seaside Park, New Jersey, near the Semper Fi 5K charity run route. Devices placed in a garbage can. Okay, we've got a possible terrorist attack in Manhattan. All right, we'll get to that in just a second, but, well, actually, let's look at it right now. There's no video there. All right, thank you. So bring our troops home, everybody, and the Federal Reserve. This is something Hillary and Donald will not do. And I want to remind all the Trump supporters that he's now backing away from going out hard against Obama being born in Kenya. In fact, his team says that Trump believes Obama was born in the U.S., and he won't comment on it. He's playing his incredibly flip-flop nature. This is the spineless person we know as Trump, who's willing to flip on the issues simply to grab votes. And if you're still voting for Trump, you must be out of your mind. He will not prosecute Obama. You will not get him to put those words together. That alone, at 50 days out of the election, should make you really think, you Trump supporters. Seriously. He met with Kissinger. He met with the worst possible people, the people running the country from underneath, who control the Council on Foreign Relations, a trilateral commission. And if you think that meeting these people is going to help, I got another thing coming. But then Hillary has this dark past, too, of unbelievable control, the Clinton death count. the body count of 56 plus people. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's take a look at Joe Biden for a second. We were talking about, this is a kind of a breaking news story that we got in our pre-show. I think all of us need to look at this. Now, remember how I said they're all controlled? Well, they're so controlled that they've got dirt on everybody, and they can make Biden do whatever they want because he's painted his own future with statements like this. Watch this close-up and listen to the audio carefully. This is a video that came out a couple of years ago, but we were not unaware of the audio. Listen to it.
Thank you. Maggie, do you want to come over here?
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's something pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's something pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. So you're talking about people who say these things in front of a microphone? I mean, he doesn't even care that he just said to a 13-year-old girl, well, I don't even want to repeat it. All right? So there's pedos in Washington all over the place. Our country is infested with this sickness, and we've got the worst possible people running for office. Okay, I got that link, Ed. Thanks. Houston Transit Police suspended in beating of a black man. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Let's not load up my server here. And the Hillary green screen fakery, chat room celebrity.
Hello, everybody. This is Glenn Kennedy with Project.Insearch.com. And the latest rally, you're looking at it right now in Greensboro, North Carolina. Watch the cameras. They're not filming the same scene as supposedly was live. You see the flags you see the flags up there? You don't see the flags on these cameras. It's set at a quarter speed. I'm going to have the original link to the original video so you guys can check this out. But clearly, there's Hillary. You don't see her anywhere on any of the cameras. Now, some of them are being hidden by these people, but this, for some reason, they are doing at least some green screening here. There's no other reason that this should be. Those cameras are very clear too, a little too clear. So what kind of games are they playing here? You know, and she's going to appear, and you're going to have a good view at a person right near the end, and you'll see that you won't see Hillary walking by on any of these cameras. So they are filming, just like they did last time. They are filming this somewhere else. And I don't know what exactly is going on, but watch this. This one right here at the end. You see that? You don't see these flags up on. Now there's Hillary. She should be showing up on that one right there. Nothing. You see nothing. So they are pulling some more shenanigans, guys. Hillary is very, very sick, guys. I don't even know if she's going to make it. I hope she does, and I hope Donald Trump smashes her. This lady is the most evil witch there's ever been. And I want all of you to Google Hillary Clinton raped Kathy O'Brien. I'll have a little thing at the end.
Okay, let me Google that. Hillary Clinton raped Kathy O'Brien. Okay. Hillary Clinton, Kathy O'Brien describes her sexual assault perpetrated by Hillary Clinton. Wow. Yeah, Kathy O'Brien has been out there claiming that she's been a sexual, as a child, sex slave for the Illuminati. And she's been talking about how she was actually put up to having sex with Gerald Ford and others. She described her sexual assault perpetrated by Hillary Clinton in her book, Transformation of America, in 1983. This is an old story, but as you can see, nothing about the Clintons gets virality. Even the Orgy Island connection and Donald Trump's connection to Orgy Island. We have a lot of people coming in. I'm sorry you've been having problems getting in, folks, because of the censorship against us.
Welcome to VidZet.
Yep, and we got a doctor that claims that Hillary has Parkinson's disease, confirms that. If you haven't seen this video, that's pretty much given. The Hillary we just saw on screen is, I believe, a shill of some sort. We don't know exactly how she got to sound exactly like Hillary, but she may have an audio vox she may even be a robot. I don't know. She might be cloned. But I believe this is a new video. Okay. He's created this video called Hillary's 9/11 Health Letter. Let's watch a little of it.
I'm Dr. Ted Noel. I'm attempting to do this without a script because some people think that when I use a script, I look like I don't know what I'm talking about. I actually use a script because I want to make sure I cover all of the points I want to cover without going over there. Today, I want to talk about Dr. Lisa Bardak's letter that supposedly says Hillary Clinton's in great health. There are several things in this letter that are real red flags. The first one is, and I quote, pulse oximetry of 99%, closed quote. Now, as an anesthesiologist, I have used pulse oximetry on virtually every patient I've cared for since pulse oximetry entered clinical practice in 1986. I do believe that makes me somewhat of a subject matter expert. Now, pulse oximetry uses lights through the fingertip to measure how much oxygen is in your blood. That is, how much saturation it is. If you look at a young athlete, perhaps 20, 25 years old, you will see a resting room air oxygen saturation of 99, perhaps 100%. Not uncommon there. And basically, as we are young, we find that the lungs match the blood to the air coming in quite well. As we get older, that matchup starts to fall apart just a little bit. Not a lot, but enough that you see after age 40, you see the oxygen saturation dropping by about 1 point for every 10 years. So by the time you get to age 70, you're looking at an oxygen saturation normal for the age of about 96. Now, if Hillary Clinton had a right middle lobe pneumonia, which she's said to have had, she's got a pneumonia in the most common place for aspiration pneumonia, which is common in Parkinson's disease. But what happens with a pneumonia is we start with the blood, but the space where the air would come in here gets filled up by gunk. So the air can't get to the blood as well as it did before, and you end up with blood going through the lung without picking up as much oxygen. That means that the oxygen saturation drops a few points. You know, if it's a mild pneumonia, it might only be a couple of points. But then once you start recovering, it will work its way back up. Now, Dr. Bardak says that on Friday, she prescribed an antibiotic. Well, the report came out 5 days later. Okay, Hillary's feeling better, but her oxygen saturation has not come up to her normal. Notice I said her normal. So where she would start at 95 or 96, she's now at 94, maybe 93, a couple of points lower. And it's going to take a little while for that to get all the way back up where it needs to go.
So she can't possibly make an appearance 2 or 3 days after being labeled suffering from pneumonia. The whole thing is preposterous, and it shows you how absolutely weak the mind of the Democrats are, that they would put the Hillary impersonator out in play so quickly. This is a disaster. Our country is is cavalcading toward a crash of massive proportions, and we don't have any intelligent people running our country who can't think of ways to get out of the situation we're in. So I'm desperately trying to get noticed, and after 8 years of doing the show every night for 3 to 5 hours, I'm absolutely convinced that my efforts are paying off. We will Google explosion in Manhattan. Sure. The word of mouth spread across the globe is significant. There's an explosion in Manhattan. We got live events. Let's go there. Reports of an explosion in Manhattan, everybody. We don't know the effects or how many people are at this point. Yep, huge explosion blew this dumpster up, right? Okay, well, yeah, I've been tracking the explosion. We Googled it, we talked about it. We don't have enough information to really follow up on it yet. This is not a wig. This is my real hair. How can you say my real hair looks horrible? I mean, it's my hair. David, is someone kidnapped? You'd have to vote for either. Iraq vet, that's a sickening statement. I'm going to mute it. I'll purge it, but that's just disgusting. And this is not a wig. This is my real hair. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Saying if Sarah was kidnapped, who would I vote for? What kind of a question is that? It's disgusting. Okay, thanks, Fester. On censorship. George Carlin, yeah. Well, we can bring up George Carlin videos and talk about the censorship, but you're not really helping, Fester. Help me bridge past the censorship and post AmericasThirdParty.com all over the internet. I don't have any low viewership. We are watched by thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around the world. They can't get into the Vaughn chat room, and we're still waiting for blogtv.ca to open up. I've got another chat room if you guys want to come in, and you can check us out. Hell all day says he's got something here. Okay, hell all day. It's not Halloween yet. And David, can you unban all? I was banned yesterday as a guest, and I'm sorry. Well, what's your name? What is your name over there? Because if I banned you as a guest, I'd have a hard time unbanning you. So we have another chat room over at iVlog. If you guys really want to get seen, and you're having a problem getting lost in chat, or you can't get into chat, and we made this available for people, they just don't want to jump over into this link. I don't know why. Maybe they can't see it. Maybe I see the link. So when I post this link, I'm glad you are trying. You told some IRL friends. Excellent. Thanks, Fester. Dude, there's not 78 people in here. There's over 1 million people trying to get into this show right now. Didn't you get a VIP capacity server? That's exactly what's happening. Yeah, we got the explosion. I mean, we're kind of, this is diverting our show from what's really happening. We're talking about an explosion, a terrorist act, is keeping us off point. Now, I need to talk about the Haitian problem. The president, I'm going to play this for you. The president of Haiti is openly talking about how he was bribed by the Clintons when he was in charge of the Haitian rebuild. Watch this. And then I'll show you something that'll freak you out.
So we spent 4 hours. I discussed it with Bill Richardson because I said to Bill, take the message back to President Clinton. I know you are here because he sent you. A week later, after my conversation with Bill Richardson, the American embassy called me, as it was often the case, and they said, President Clinton has a messenger for you. I said, send him over. He came, did not give me his name, but told me, Mr. Sensory, you join our movement. You side with Bill Clinton in this invasion and we'll make you the richest man in Haiti.
Okay, let me give you a link to this video. You can watch it in its entirety now, or you can wait for the end of our show where we'll play it for you. But here it is. Whoops, sorry. That's not the link to our video. That's the link to our iVlog show, if you want to go over there. Hi, Eddie. Thanks for coming in. You're really here for Sarah? Okay. Hi, Sarah. David, any links you post don't come up? Now, my links right now, are you guys able to see my links, folks? Can you see my links that I post? Or is the Rock Vet just messing with us? Yes. Okay, Rock Vet, I don't believe you. Everyone else can see my links. No, I don't use sexual enhancement pills. I just eat a great healthy lifestyle. Non-GMO food, organic food, you know, these kinds of things. All right, good. So you see the links. Now I want to blow your mind for just a second. Sarah's in here. She's just going to come in right after I finish off here.
I'm just hanging out.
Remember the Haitian earthquake that killed 350,000 people? Well, I'm going to show you a link, or actually a picture, of a UFO sighting that occurred right before, 6 hours before the actual earthquake occurred. Watch this.
No idea. Wow. Look, it's that what? It's bigger. It's getting bigger. What is that?
Yeah, this was seen in Haiti.
If I can focus
6 hours before the earthquake occurred. No, it's not the sun. This is a UFO of some sort.
Come on,
it's an electromagnetic
focus.
Pulse. This is an electromagnetic pulse weapon. It's an electromagnetic weapon. You know?
Wow.
And it was seen right before the Haitian earthquake that killed 350,000 people.
Wow, that's cool. Not focusing very good, though.
You've seen it, and now you are kind of wondering, what the heck did I just see? Well, you're looking at an electromagnetic weapon, which was used against Haiti. And I can tell you that I have it on very good information that there's a situation that is extremely disturbing.
This individual.
The Haitian government actually has been, pushed aside by the Clinton initiative, and that story is an entire story about Hillary. We could play you later tonight. But the Clinton initiative essentially profited immensely from Haiti. They put a resort in where all those people used to live. And prior to the Haitian earthquake, the Clinton initiative and the Clintons were looking for ways of water filtering on Haiti. And I have this from a solid source at a water filtration company, that they were looking to filter water in Haiti for industrial use. Looking to actually get a huge commercial water system filtration in order to finance a resort. And the guy at the water filtration system, well, there is no room for a resort in Haiti. Why are you asking me about that? And the Clinton initiative responded by saying, well, don't worry about that. Can you filter water on Haiti for an industrial resort, an industrial style filtration system? So all I'm saying is the modus operandi, the will, the intent, the delivery, the bribery of a public official, a willful attempt to control politics for personal favor and gain and payback for others. This is insane. So Hillary is definitely a problem. Trump is a problem with all his ties to the mob community and to Russia. Oh my goodness, you guys are really in a tough battle. If you really are concerned about writing my name in as a token of appreciation for all my efforts fighting the censorship and building this third party, then I'm sorry. If you don't get the picture, then you're going to get fried by what's to come. That's just the way it's going to go, man. I can't help you beyond that. But come on to our show and try to decide for yourself in the next 50 days. Sarah's coming in. All right. Thank you for giving me your vote, Guest 691. I appreciate it. And we will be bringing you an amazing picture behind me with just a second. I'm going to remove it from, there's the anomaly. Yes. Busted. All right. We're back into our anti-war rally position, offering $400 per U.S. adult. This erases welfare. It's a modern-day way of erasing welfare, getting our economy going at the same time, and leveling out the playing field by not giving non-U.S. citizens any money. We don't want to give U.S. citizens any money whatsoever. Non-U.S. citizens should not get any money whatsoever. That's an important thing. Illegal aliens should not be getting money from us. Donald Trump doesn't have this concept. No, it's not like communism. Just leave. I'm going to ban you. All right. I'll mute you for a while until you figure out how to talk about issues here. Hillary Clinton is hiding another coughing attack. Let's take a look. Or is she just feigning a coughing attack to make it seem like she has a coughing thing going on? Because if this is a fake Hillary, which I think it is, a shillery, her faking a coughing attack is just an attempt to seem more normal in this particular case. In this particular case, a coughing attack could be an attempt to get legitimacy. She was coming to the end of a 20-minute speech, the Black Women's Agenda, and she began to cough, but attempted to hide it by not covering her mouth. But the hot mic picked up the coughing. Clinton could also be seen coughing again, covering. I really believe that she's coughing just so that she appears to be really Hillary Clinton. I don't believe this is a real picture of Hillary Clinton. We've got something going on here. An impersonator who's done an amazing job of impersonating her. Her voice is perfect, so that's not playing, that video. Oh, here it is.
I know. I believe this, or I would not be standing here before you. I would not have run again for president. I would not deal with all the incoming brickbats that are hurled my way if I did not in my heart believe with every fiber of my being that together we can build a future where, yes, love trumps hate. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you all. I know. I believe.
Yeah, I really believe they have a fake Hillary in there right now, and it's getting to be almost hilarious. But people are going to believe this is the real Hillary. No question about it. Just like this is a green screen.
It's really a green screen.
I got to fix that corner. Every single time I do the show, I have to drop this a little bit. There we go. All right. We are up and ready to talk about anti-war with Sarah, and Sarah is my vice presidential choice for the upcoming election. And I can tell you that we wrote a book together called Hybrid Capitalism, which pretty much synopsizes all the work we put into this campaign in detail. And you can download it right now for a very low cost, 99 cents. It's available on our website in our store. All right. There it is. There is our book. It's about a 200-page read, but it's definitely worth the read because it gives you all the hit points as to how we started this plan. And we have proof that we have most of these ideas ahead of Donald Trump by many years. This was written in 2012, but it's a culmination of the work that we did from 2008 to 2012. All right, thank you. I'll be right back. Oh, and by the way, you can ask Sarah about the $400 plan, which I think it was one of the best things that happened in our show about 3 months ago. Our anti-war rally, we came up with this concept. And this is a fulfillment of our Baseline Plus concept, which we talked about on our show. But we also talked about the Baseline Plus in our book, Hybrid Capitalism. So this is a fulfillment of that concept. This is the baseline. This is enough for you to get by with very limited means, but at least it covers the basics. If you want the plus, you have to work for it.
Yes. So of course, some people say, well, $400 won't cover every basic or cover every cost that people have. It's just a baseline, and then of course people can work beyond that, which is better, I think, than the current welfare system that says they only give it to people of a certain income, and then if you work beyond that income, you're no longer get anything. So that's what that's the whole idea behind it. All right. Well, you can think whatever you want. Our hybrid capitalism is an idea for the government to compete in the free market rather than subsidize the free market like it currently does. It is It really is Saturday night. Yeah, well, maybe sketchy one. I'll figure out. I think I'll leave the guests for just a little bit, and we'll see what happens later. My hair doesn't look good because David has a light right above my head, so it shines on my head, which makes it shiny. So that's a light. And for my hair, it just makes it look like it's gray, but it's really not gray. It's just how the light hits it. Yeah, I'm happy with my body and how I look and how I am. So if you're not happy with it, you don't have to be here and watch me and talk to me. So you can always leave if you find me an unappealing person to talk to. That's a great thing about being in a nation that, we have freedom of speech and freedom of the press and all of those things. So you can just leave, though. What do you mean you're being paid to be here? Who would pay you to watch my show or David's show? That's pretty hilarious. Those things, so you can just leave, though. I think any kind of explosive device placed at a marathon of any kind or a public event is horrible. I hope that they catch whoever did that. I'm not going to ban anyone. I'm going to just, you can, I'm going to encourage you to leave on your own. How about that? Why are they doing it to runners? I don't think that they're purposely targeting runners. I think that they're creating incidents at places where many people gather. Okay. Well, I think that's fine with me. 388. Good viewers. Thanks, Fester. I'm glad you like to be here. Do I ever get explosive? I get frustrated sometimes when it's just like lots of noises. I'm a calm, peaceful person. If there's like a lot of noise and I'm trying to do something and focus and there's too much noise, then maybe I won't be a happy camper. But for the most part, I'm pretty relaxed and a pretty happy camper and pretty good. It could have duct tape. Could have. During David's intermission, maybe. Let's see. No, I'm not going to change the background to that. No, I won't be doing any of that. All right, hi. And I want to see what's going on in the news. Let's refresh. Thank you. I will have it my way, at least when I'm on the show. I will definitely work toward that goal. I believe that instead of doing away with the Federal Reserve automatically, I will say what I will be working on is working toward getting the United States and the people of the United States in a more sustainable living situation so that they don't have to be so reliant on the Federal Reserve. So I'm not going to promise to do away with the Federal Reserve. I'm going to help the people become more self-sufficient. And so that's just kind of like my philosophy with, if you don't like my show, you can leave, is that eventually people will be leaving the Federal Reserve because it won't become a necessity. All right. Syria and Russia say a coalition airstrike kills regime forces. So the U.S. says they had says they regret an anti-ISIS strike that killed Syrian forces. I wonder if it was, and Russia said 62 people died from this airstrike that the U.S. did targeting ISIS forces. Well, thank you, Mr. Kem. I'll say campaign for who you believe in, and hopefully you can work to get who you believe on the ballot. I'm glad that you really like our ideas. I think we do have some fantastic ideas at America's Third Party. Oh, sorry. What do I say to critics who say the fence won't accomplish anything at all? Because people can climb the fence? It's difficult to climb a lethal electric fence. That's what I say. I believe that the thing is about these lethal electric fences is that they're currently in use in maximum security prisons in the United States. They have reduced the need for as many security guards in these prison situations because they have reduced the amount of people escaping from prisons. So that's why I think that they would be great along our southern border. Well, thank you, Kem, and I appreciate your support. So duct tape, you would love to see a shift in military funding to NASA funding. You believe space exploration creates so much technology, mainly because it's about solving problems when they're going into space and how do they do things in a different environment than they have on Earth. So it's just it increases the thoughtful engineering and innovation that goes into those things. I think that the big thing is asking more questions, and I do agree that we need to have less funding going to weaponry and more going to solving problems. I think though that we have enough problems to solve here on Earth. For instance, how do we address the homeless situation in our country? How do we provide affordable health care to people? And I'm sorry to say that the Affordable Care Act is not affordable for many Americans. So I think that there's a lot of work to be done here on Earth and here in, I know I look like I'm sitting on the moon, but on Earth I think that there's a lot of work to be done, and that can take imagination and creativity as well. You might be right, Kem. You might not be right. I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully, they find whoever placed the bombs. All right. Oh, nomadic minimalists. Now, I like that term, and if someone is truly a nomadic minimalist out of choice, and it's not because they can't afford housing, I think that would be fantastic. It's great life choice for some people. However, I think that it's very difficult for people who can't afford housing. And then healthcare, 731 says, not affordable for anyone. This Affordable Care Act is ridiculous. Insurance still won't pay for certain things that happen. Insurance denies all claims, and you still pay the insurance companies. It's really messed up. another bomb went off in Virginia. Let me look. So there was a bomb that exploded near the Marine Corps base in New Jersey. And multiple people were injured in a New York City building explosion. So Virginia. Yes, absolutely. We can talk about the wall for a couple of minutes. So some of the whole reason that I don't have anything about I don't see any information about any bomb in Virginia. I do see information about a bomb in New York and a bomb in near in New Jersey as well. Downtown Mall. Alright, maybe it hasn't hit the news yet. Go to Twitter. Let me check Twitter. I was fortunately born with excellent genes, so I have a great face. And I don't know the rest. I got this nice jacket. It's turning like fall here. Well, it will be fall in a week or so. So I decided to wear this. It's a little bit warmer. Okay, it's not that you don't understand it or the why because the lethal electric fence. Still, you think more than... Oh, right. Right. I understand what you're saying. You think more people will think of it as a Berlin Wall. The difference, though, is in Berlin, there were separation of a city where people lived on both sides of... In the city before the Berlin Wall happened. It was let's see, before the wall went up in Berlin, it was one united country, whereas the wall between the United States and Mexico, those are two separate countries and have been for many years. And so I think it's a completely different situation than Berlin. So what is my plan for the Ohio-Canada border? Well, if the Ohioans would like to create a lethal electric fence along that border, we certainly can look into that. I will leave that up to the Ohioans. Oh, it was a bomb threat. Okay. Thank you, Eddie. Okay. Okay. Manassas Mall reopens after evacuation due to a bomb threat. So they were evacuated Friday morning after reports of a bomb threat. The Prince William County Police responded to the scene, completed a search of the mall. No suspicious items were located, and the mall reopened at 2 p.m. Thank you. What's my plan for the West Virginia border? I have no plan for that. I will leave that up to the Virginians and West Virginians. Sarah, have you ever watched other Vaughn channels? Maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I watched other channels for like 5 minutes a piece, and that's about it. Oh, that's fine. Okay, just a sec. I know you're not being judgmental. Let me see. I think. Okay. Yeah, it's perfectly fine to ask questions. That's why we're here, to answer questions you have. But some questions I'm just not going to answer. I don't see the point of them. I'm in a completely dedicated relationship with David, and if I weren't in a relationship with David, I would probably be single, and I am heterosexual. I don't think that it's relevant. 393 asks, do you believe Michelle Obama is a man? I think David believes that's a relevant question. I don't believe it's a relevant question. Canadian asks, what's your plan for the Flin Flon Manitoba Seal Stunt this coming January? Are you going to stop? I think you meant some kind of seal hunt. And I think you're doing a great job campaigning for them. No, we're not going to change this name. I think the New Mexico citizens could change the name of the state if they really wanted to, but I don't think that's necessary. What are you talking about, Fester? Yeah, because it doesn't exist. As often as possible, 898. I don't think so, 401. Alright. I do agree to disagree sometimes. I think people from New Mexico say, I live in New Mexico, or I'm from New Mexico, rather than I'm a New Mexican. What? I don't do anything that's going to alter my brain chemistry. I eat chocolate and that's about it. I'm reading the first 3 numbers of a guest name, Nicole. Thanks for asking. I do support mobile medical, the idea of mobile medical units 100%. I think it's an excellent idea. It's one of those, I was talking about it right when, one of these ideas, I don't know if it came to David or myself first, the mobile medical units, but what triggered it for me was the idea that it was like Chrysler, Dodge, when they were having the big car industry was having difficulty and they were going to shut down, and one of their big costs was due to the medical care, that their union membership was paying these huge fees in medical care. And so I said, why doesn't the car companies actually hire doctors directly? And then you can hire a doctor, and I still advise this for all big major companies. Instead of paying for medical insurance, why don't you hire doctors directly? You could pay for insurance for like catastrophic things or specialists, but then if you pay for a general doctor to come in and actually do physicals for all of your staff, I just think it's a great idea to look into that. That might actually save money. You hear a lot of things, Fester. They're not real. Yes, I have heard of a second explosion. Well, one explosion in New Jersey and one in New York City. I'm not yelling. I don't mean to be yelling. I think if the microphone's picking up loud, that's just the way it is. I'm not yelling. Is ethanol outdated? Well, ethanol is, the problem with ethanol is that it takes the same amount of fuel to grow ethanol as ethanol generates. So it's like, I'm sure it takes more fuel. Well, with oil, I don't think it takes as much oil energy to dig up the oil as the oil generates. Fuel from sewage is a great idea, but I don't necessarily think that can happen in vehicles. So vehicles is a definitely different kind of thing when you're talking about energy. I don't have a plan for Canada. I think Canada is our ally, and I think that we'll continue to be allies. And I think that, we can open up more trade with Canada. I think that would be great. I haven't worn my press-on veneers. I don't know. Some people said they looked unnatural. I suppose I could do that because then many people would think that it's better than my teeth currently. Maybe I'll start doing that. All right. No, I will always be a U.S. citizen, Mr. Canadian. A possible third pipe bomb. Ooh, second explosion heard near Manhattan Police Headquarters. Well, methane is a great fuel source, and I think it could be used for home heating or something like that. Well, I have a plan to prevent that, 613. 613 says, do you have a plan for get pregnant? I think you mean, do you have a plan if you get pregnant? And I work toward preventing pregnancy right now for myself. So Sarah believes in pure water, solar jobs, solar energy, and jobs for inner city people, well, ghettos in general and the cities in general. I wouldn't say that I personally target any specific racial divide explorers. I believe in helping everyone. Thanks, 657. All right, so I do think that we can help cities build up and create skills that people need to actually maintain their houses and maintain their neighborhoods, which is good. I disagree, 731. Sarah was born in the United States. I do like chemistry. I used to be better at chemistry, only because it is one of those subjects that I could probably pick it up pretty easily again, but I don't use it on a daily basis. David doesn't need anything, any kind of enhancement drugs at all. What? Why do you say we can't afford to have Canada as an ally? You want to annex British Columbia? Well, I mean, the Constitution lays out a way for any place to become a state of the United States, and that's up to those locations that want to become part of the United States. That's hilarious, 411. All right, both methane, ammonia, and sulfate can be collected from a specific tank. Yes, that's true. I don't know what that is, 731. Asked, do you think it's good to participate in Movember beard growing. I don't know what that is. David does love America. No, 9191, I haven't considered that. Fortunately, I'm with a great guy who likes me just the way I am. Well, I wish you would write David's name in, Kim, but you can do what you do. Well, he finds it offensive. David finds it offensive if people accuse him of being gay. He doesn't like it. I'm sure there are some people that are gay that would find it offensive that people accuse them of being straight. I don't know. I guess it's to each his own. What's the craziest thing I did in high school? I didn't really do anything crazy in high school. Well, my family moved across the country and back in my junior year and senior year. Well, basically junior year and summer of my junior year. So that's pretty crazy. No, we're going to just slash welfare and instead give every U.S. adult $400 per month. And they would just have to prove that they're a U.S. citizen to qualify. What? All right. No. All right. All right, I wonder all of your different chats. Time to move on to the news. I don't think there's anything very intellectual going on in my chat room currently. I'm sure that you guys, when I talk about the news, that you guys will start thinking of more intellectually stimulating conversation topics. I don't think ours is our Walmart, so I don't think it's open 24 hours. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. Service, Beekman. Service. But of course, you have to take care of yourself first and foremost. Take care of yourself, number one. Always take care of yourself. And then take care of other people. That's the meaning of life, in my opinion. David doesn't have any of those records to release. Why won't David release certain records? Because he doesn't have any.
I don't have any medical records or tax returns.
Well, you can contact your local water agency and ask them to stop putting fluoride in your water.
Yeah.
You might be surprised. Maybe your local area doesn't actually put fluoride in your water. So you can definitely check that out. David doesn't release his dental records because
for security purposes
would want to have teeth like his.
Yeah. And they try to fake my death.
Actually,
or
David
something.
has told you what his dental records are, so I'm sure you can find them.
I've told me that I have dental records. I've never told him where my dental records
You told him where you got your beautiful smile.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So.
They don't divulge that information. It's signed in their contract.
I know.
So we're gonna say thank you so much for watching the show. We're gonna sign off and give you nothing for the rest of the night.
Nothing.
Wouldn't that be great if we could just leave the show right now, and just after an hour and 11 minutes of
say thank you for coming into our show. Good night. Have a great Saturday night, and we will see you again on Monday.
Wouldn't that be great? Sarah wanted me to cut the show off at this time. when she first talked about doing a show. We were going to do a 6 to 8 show, and I'm doing a 5 to 7 and 12-minute show, and I've morphed it into a 4-hour show. So Sarah really wanted to keep it down to 2 hours.
Then of course I wanted it to just be 5 days a week. It's turned into 6 days a week.
And some people want tomorrow, and I said no. We need a day of rest. We did the 9/11 thing a week or so ago, exactly a week ago, and no stool samples will be submitted to you by mail. I'm sorry, I'm rejecting that request. Well, I know you want 6-hour shows, and I give you 9, 10-hour shows. You guys can stay in the chat room till 2 in the morning, and I do come in and chat with people, and I sometimes go on camera. So please keep your mouth shut when talking. Thanks. There was no 24-hour show. I did a 10-hour show. I did 50 10-hour shows 50 days before the 2008 election, and I didn't do it in 2012, and I don't think I'm going to do it now. We've got to make it to 2020. We're not going to just burn out, man. All right, thanks. Come on. Let's just see what's going on in the news here. We've got the moon. USA Today. Money. Look at this. Michigan. This was from last night. I didn't show everybody this. Michigan bars Tesla from opening stores. Look at that. So Detroit hates Tesla so much they don't even want to integrate with his ideas. And, after we found out that he was a crackhead, kind of changed my dimension. Thank you, I do. I don't have prostate
Thank you,
cancer.
Gothic Master, for thanking me.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk reportedly said the company's new autopilot software could have prevented the car crash that killed a man in northern Florida earlier this year. The company released a detailed list of improvements on Sunday and says version.
All right, there you go. I think that's good enough. CNN could never get their video act together. It's amazing. I'm going to go ahead and talk about
David does his show in the interim, Sheriff Woody.
This just in, there's a New York City terror attack apparently underway. Is it over? There was some sort of a bomb placed in a...
There was the second one.
A second bomb placed? Okay. So we'll do New York City terror attack. So we are now talking about it. If you want to bring this up, feel free.
Sorry, I had to start to chat down a little bit of...
We haven't piped in on this. I have to get rid of this. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. We haven't not piped in on this yet, the New York City terror attack. We'll be talking about that as soon as more information comes in. We don't know if it's real or not at this point. I know it could have been a giant bomb. 13 people may be dead. We need to know exactly what happened. I mean, just hearing a news story nowadays is not enough to confirm that a terrorist attack is happening. Okay? Well, I'm going to keep it from happening by strengthening our border, our 1,000-mile fence idea that was solid in 2008, so much so that Donald Trump took the idea in 2014. So here we have an idea to build a fence along the border to keep illegals and other than Mexicans out of our country. And you got this guy running off his mouth about Muslims. I mean, he totally bastardized the idea. I didn't have an anti-Muslim stance except to stop radical Islam and the threat of radical Islam. That was not going to be involving ID Muslims. I would never do that. I would never force deportations. That's absurd. It was a dumpster bomb. Yeah, somebody set off a dumpster bomb. Right, Scissor Fight. So far, that's all we know. The word that 13 people are dead cannot be corroborated at this point. All right, thank you. People like it when I post this thing so they can look at that.
Oh, all of these?
No, I mean the New York City terror attack. Because obviously I'm concerned about it, but I'm not concerned to the point where I can do anything. So sharing news is kind of one of the side things we do. No, if he said I stole the idea from him, that's an outright lie. So now he's a liar and a cheater. Oh, okay. And a flip-flopper. So you got a lot of names to tag on to Donald Trump right now.
I'm just going to say riddance is spelled this way.
Good riddance, yeah. People are liking my new hairstyle. I like it too. It makes me feel like I'm back at the beach, catching tan.
All right, so you say you won't run, but yet, Mark, I know you are warning that a Trump presidency, from what we have seen, could be dire.
Mark Cuban talking about the Trump presidency, one billionaire talking to a guy who he thinks doesn't have $1 billion. Mark Cuban made references to Donald Trump not being a billionaire in that interview. He's a billionaire who, he's self-made billionaire. He didn't inherit it from his dad that I know of. I couldn't find that in his background. Mark Cuban is very outplayed. Do you get new? No, I don't have hair plugs. This is my original hair coming out of my original follicles. And it's absolutely amazing how flexible my hair is. And I was telling Sarah I'm going to experiment with some product that somebody sent me called argon. Yeah, somebody told me about this. So I went out and bought some argon. I'm anxious to try a little argon oil treatment. See if it strengthens my hair.
Antibiotic cream.
David, are we experiencing our first false flag? I don't know. In New York City, it's possible. This is not Hair Club for Men, dude. This is my real hair. God, why are so many people obsessed with my hair? It's absurd.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I should really go.
And it's like the thing shining on it.
Your hair is beautiful. I mean, are you kidding me? And look at this lovely leather vest you're wearing. Wow, how sexy. That's incredible.
Oh, thanks.
Doesn't that look good on her? Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing. Yeah. And here we are, kicking back, watching you, watching us, watching you, watching us. Zika zone triples in Miami Beach after more cases are found. So they're going to be doing more spraying outside of the Miami Beach zone. Can you imagine having an organic garden and just having your entire organic garden getting sprayed and hosed down with DTEA, DET? It's just insane. And this stuff that they're spraying causes the same symptoms and brain damage as the Zika supposedly does. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They spray and then they kill the brains of the people there. Miami Beach residents collect literature and bug spray prior to a town hall meeting called by the state rep David Richardson. Zika zone was tripled after more cases were found. I mean, what a ridiculous, hyped, hysterical waste of our efforts. Forcing vaccinations and aerial spraying on people. It's crazy. I disagree with it, and I'm against it 100%. I'll never change my opinion. I'm rock solid. I will never, unless there is an absolute, full-on, deadly plague, we're talking in the thousands of people, would I even think of using these types of techniques? But if it gets to thousands, you have to nip it in the bud. I understand that, but I cannot confirm that thousands of people. Remember Ebola? And how Barack Obama brought over 14 people with Ebola? Yeah, it's crazy how we overreact. I even overreacted. I was like, oh, there's Ebola, and I even said we should carpet bomb Liberia. And I don't want to do that anymore. It's like, okay. I think we're overreacting. I have to have absolute evidence of a full-on pandemic before I would even start the spraying of anything. I'm going to nip it in the bud, but doing this is ridiculous. What they're doing is called herd inoculation. And this is a buzzword you're going to be hearing from the Democrats. And herd inoculation is the groundwork for creating legislation that's going to take our rights away. Our body is our most sacrosanct thing, and they want to stick needles in it and say, oh, here you go. Here's some Roundup. Or maybe you want a flu shot. It's free. Here's some Roundup. They found Roundup in the flu shots they were testing at Natural News. It's crazy. I mean, it's Roundup. They're putting Roundup. You know they're trying to get rid of the human population. I know. There was a bomb in New York City. We got that. So far, there's been a dumpster bomb. Yeah, they have the tech to do micro-tracking and kill devices, too. Stealth mode, you're on it, man. You've been reading, you've been watching the History Channel, and their special on remote-controlled attacks on people. Wow. Jackson69, good evening. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday night. Don't get too drunk, and don't drive when you're drinking, please. It's a huge mistake. Drinking is horrible for coordination. If you're on any kind of controlled substance, it's bad, but drinking really intensifies it. They've already switched Hillary. Hillary's ready to go. She's in full force now. She's called the Shillery. I gave her a name. And Shillery is better than Hillary, I think. She doesn't have that terrible death count attributed to her. She's merely a robot doing the work of the New World Order. And, you can always wonder if she's saying something, is it something that she's been pre-programmed to say? Because you could easily put a script in front of a robot and have them spill out words very easily. Let me take a moment with a cursor and show you a video I play on our Technology Thursday show, but it's really indicative of all the weird technology that's out there that could easily be evolving. I'm going to show you 10-year-old technology that is phenomenal. Sarah, have you seen this one? This is, self-explanatory.
Meet Han, a humanoid robot that can smile, frown, wink, or even act drunk, all at the push of a button. Wowing crowds at an electronics fair in Hong Kong, Han's myriad of facial expressions are controlled by 40 motors. These are covered with a unique human-like skin called frubber, short for flesh rubber. The ultra-realistic android can also recognize and interpret the expressions of real humans it comes into contact with. Grace Copplestone is from developers Hanson Robotics.
So we have cameras in his eyes and in his chest, which allow him to recognize people's faces. Not only that, but recognize their gender, their age, whether they're happy or sad.
Han is even able to hold simple conversations thanks to voice recognition software.
I think you are perfect man for my wife.
I don't have to do whatever you say. I have my own free will.
How about that for irony? I have my own free will. I'm worried about New York City, folks. We got a terrible terror attack going on, but so far it's a dumpster fire. And we're still trying to piece this together. Any real evidence, any serious CCTV footage is going to have to be present here. But right now it's a dumpster fire. If 13 people are dead, I'm very, very sorry. Yeah. But yeah, isn't that amazing how easily... that was 10-year-old technology. So you can imagine how it would be now. They would make it much more natural for people to talk. You would hardly ever guess that they were robots, Sarah.
So Leonardo DiCaprio just released this, or announced this free technology that allows everyone to spy on commercial fishermen or global fishing practices, not just commercial practices, but global fishing practices. It's with Google, Oceana, and SkyTruth. They use satellite technology combined with radar aboard boats, and the site is called globalfishingwatch.org.
Globalfishingwatch.org. Let's go to the site.
All right, I'm going to take a break.
I'll check it out. Thank you, Sarah. That's awesome. I did not know that Leonardo DiCaprio was onto this. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
In a way, it's awesome, but in a way, you have to wonder, like, is it privacy issues?
Yeah, globalfishingwatch.org. Sarah's looking fine. She's looking super fine. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Introducing Global Fishing Watch. Wow, that's cool. I'll make it available for you, so you don't have to type it in. There was terror in Minnesota. We have unconfirmed, but looks at the wild spread. Back to the oil shortage of the whole country. What? The oil spill, its effect on the oil shortage of the whole country. Are you there? Oh, you're saying they're going to detonate the gasoline? No. Dr. Meow, we really don't need your KGB affiliation here. Ashley, hello. So you can see where fishing is happening when you go to this site. Wow. Observe fishing patterns and activity determined by Global Fishing Watch based on vessel position and improve fisheries management. So it's kind of opening the internet. It's a mashup of awareness, politics, and your ability to look. That's pretty cool that he put that together. Yeah, so an explosion has been reported in New York City. Here's a live feed. Let's go there. My affiliate at NBC, Brian Williams, you were on fire.
And he could just be riling things up. But I say this definitely not as an official report, just as to repeat something that you may have heard on the stream, and to stress that it's not confirmed. And even if you're hearing something like that, keep it in mind. But it's not true, and until there's some kind of confirmation, some kind of proof, right? And that being said, just because the government says it happened doesn't necessarily mean it did. We need to figure out what actually is going on.
Cool. We don't know what's happening. Okay, remember the situation in Dallas when five Dallas police officers were allegedly killed? Or they were put in witness protection and, shuttled away from the area? We are not sure. We cannot confirm because the police keep all media, even people with cell phones, away from the actual event. Well, I understand that the gasoline leak is controlled to one area. I was told when I read the lake last night that it was isolated to that one location. I don't think it's going to extend out unless it's detonated. So, I didn't know I unbanned you, 919. Yeah, I heard about Mark Cuban's $10 million offer to Trump. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I think it's great. Cuban doesn't like Trump. He thinks he's full of BS. Okay, now David Brock offers money for new dirt on Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton's ally David Brock is offering to pay for new information on Donald Trump, hoping the damaged audio, video damage, anything damaging on the Republican presidential candidate will be submitted to his super PAC. Brock, the founder of the left-wing Media Matters and operator of the Correct the Record super PAC, recently posted the plea on Correct the Record's website and is referring to the project as Trump Leaks. NBC News reported. So Trump leaks. Let's find out if there's more. What Trump did last 2 weeks ago, asking Russia to hack more of the emails of Hillary Clinton to get more, was actually a violation of national security. He violated espionage acts by asking Russia to cyber terrorize the DNC. Very weird that he would even go there. So Mark Cuban is offering him $10 million for a 4-hour grilling on the issues. This is actually pretty good. Yeah, let's listen in. I think he would. I think Cuban is really good. Really good. I'd love to see that. Yeah, bring it on. There you go, Jackson. Yeah, so no one knows what happened so far. Scissor Fight is tracking it. Someone blew up a dumpster. That's all they know right now. Lots of refugees have gone to Minneapolis, St. Cloud, Rochester, yeah. And I was talking about that last night. I want to mitigate the amount of refugees.
So you say you won't run, but yet, Mark, I know you are warning that a Trump presidency, from what we have seen, could be dire. You think stocks, for example, could crash. I mean, it's a significant thing to say. How bad could it be?
Well, let's take a step back, first of all. Where Donald has come from to today, you would think that he'd be more knowledgeable on the issues, that we would look at what he's had to say and say, you know what, he's really picked up some in-depth knowledge. He's nuanced on different topics, whether it's immigration, whether it's a jobs plan, whether it's the economy, whatever it may be. But that just hasn't happened. And to me, that's a problem. It's apparent that he really hasn't invested the time to really do a deep dive and understand, the issues that we're facing and the things that he says he wants to do. That's an issue. Now, when you have that amount of uncertainty, when there's, you're flip-flopping, when you're not sure what the candidate's going to say from one thing to another, that uncertainty, potentially as the President of the United States, that's the last thing Wall Street wants to hear. And I can say with 100% certainty that there's a really good chance we could see a huge, huge correction. Even today, there was an article in Reuters that said that Carl Icahn, supposedly someone who's supporting Donald and is mentoring him in economics and finance, has taken on a huge 150% short position. That's not a good thing. That's horrific. And so all those people had look at him and say, you know what? This is the guy to take on the establishment. This is the guy to change the game. Something that I hoped would happen. unless he comes up with some concrete examples of what he's going to do, it could really turn Wall Street up and down. And all those 401ks from all his followers, their net worth could fall further than Donald's would.
I mean, right. I mean, because you're talking about when you say a huge, huge correction, I mean, what does that mean? I mean, you think stocks could go down, what, 20%? Is that reasonable? What could happen? How bad could it be?
It could be 20%. You know, now with high-frequency trading, accelerating, you know, strong moves in any direction, it could be worse than that. How long? I don't know. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll roll into a recession, but I don't think there's any question. Look, and let's add to that, that not only is there uncertainty about his programs, but he's taken us into an isolationist mode. And if we're going to be isolated in a global economy with currencies, you know, dependent on each other, with central banks trying to work together or sometimes against each other, even in an isolated world, that's the worst thing possible. I mean, you cannot. This is a global This is a global financial environment.
Yeah.
You can act as a standalone entity.
And, you know, Mark, one of the things about you and Donald Trump, you know, as I mentioned, right, you're a reality television star, you're a billionaire. There's certain similarities between the two of you on paper. You're also not
afraid. At least I'm a billionaire.
Right. I know that you have questions about his net worth as well.
It's apparent that he really hasn't invested the time to really do a deep dive and understand, you know, the issues that we're facing and the things that he says he wants to do.
Okay, it looks like we got more video for tonight. Thank you. Trump is unstable. Yeah, he changes his thoughts day to day. His own ghostwriter for the book Art of the Deal said, this is Tony Schwartz speaking. He said that, and I quote, he has no attention span. Trump doesn't. He wouldn't even sit down with Tony to write the book Art of the Deal. Tony wrote the whole thing simply listening to conversations Trump was having with other people for 18 days. And he also said that Trump just completely flies off the lid every time somebody disagrees with him. He gets very annoyed easily. So no attention span, annoyed easily. That would be the Trump characteristic Tony Schwartz called him. Tony is being charged by Trump violating something, but Trump has no grounds to sue Tony because Tony did not sign a confidentiality agreement. This is before Trump started forcing people to sign confidentiality agreements when they talked to him. I'm reading 6,000 words per minute. I'm tracking your conversation, yes. I think Hillary is less dangerous than Trump, simply because Trump's willing to steal my ideas. What else is he willing to do? Hillary's taken one of my ideas, the solar rooftop program that I had in mind in 2008. She's doing commercials on that right now. Hillary is. Trump has taken $63 million in donators' money recently and hasn't filed any report as to what he's doing with it, and he's not running a lot of TV advertising. So something's weird about the Trump campaign. It doesn't make sense. He flip-flops daily, Trump does. Hillary is at this point, I'll be frank, I think it's been replaced. I think Hillary's been replaced by Shillery. But even that's more, I'll even take a clone over Trump at this point. I'm a former Democrat, so I have a little bias here. But I can't stand the fact that Hillary, the real Hillary, has this legacy of dead people, 56 plus people. The Clinton body count, look it up. It's very, very serious. And recently, 6 people have died close to the DNC. So I believe both parties are terribly corrupt, and writing my name in the election is the only way out of this problem. I think if Hillary were to be elected, or Shillery, we're looking at forced vaccinations within a year or 2. That's enough to take the country into a state of panic. A pandemic flipped into the country, even if they implement a Zika pandemic, and Hillary were to take office, she'd force vaccinate the population with this herd inoculation. That's extremely dangerous. But Trump sounds more and more to me like Hitler, which makes it even more concerning. He could eat his goose-stepping thugs that run his campaign, that we've seen push people like they did in North Carolina recently. Trump is being investigated for inciting a riot by the North Carolina government right now because of what happened in his stadium when one thug started pushing a guy who's simply protesting verbally. So they're willing to go up and do the same kind of things that Hitler's goon squad, the stormtroopers, the SA did in Germany. That's even more disturbing to me than Hillary trying to implement a forced vaccination policy and running into a dead end, because the American people are not going to take that. And having Hillary out there, or Shillery, we'll call her Shillery, whether she's a robot or a clone, she's still more predictable, and I mean it, than Trump. Trump is absolutely off the handle. Taking my ideas like this shows you the disreputability of this man, and how it totally discredits his decency as a person, and you can't trust that. You can't trust anything about the guy. It undermines his credibility in every way. I'll take a clone over Trump. You can quote me on that. I don't even care. So they are uneducated, and they're listening to the ideas that I came up with, which are very interesting. And even you Democrats will probably understand my purpose of the 1,000-mile border fence when you recognize that we've got a serious population increase happening due to illegal aliens. But I never attack Muslims, and I would never ID Muslims, and I would never deport people from our country that are currently residing in our country. Now, if they come into the border, we're going to deport them right away. But first, we're going to give them a trial to see what they are. Are they economically impoverished? Are they seeking political asylum? Because we can't take people who are doing either one at this point. We have a closed door policy under my administration. We do not want refugees. But we have to look at the possibility that some of these people may pre-qualify for fast-track naturalization, where they can pay 10 grand in their home country and go to the U.S. Embassy, take tests, and become a dual citizen, and then come in the country legally. So it doesn't create a problem where we have to have Border Patrol constantly attacking people. No, I don't want to watch anything about Scientology or any other religion. It doesn't interest me. Thank you. Thanks, Fester. I appreciate your honesty. Kool-Aid Anthrax, yeah. Play the Mark Cuban appearance on Neil Cavuto. Okay. You don't have, yeah, okay. Let's see. NYPD are saying it might be construction material that blew up in a dumpster. No life-threatening injuries. So we may be jumping to conclusions. I'm pulling the terror attack warning off. No problem. Thank you. Over the last 6 years, at least 22 Somalian American men have left. Okay, left somewhere. We've got tons of refugees being poured in. Obama has passed the 137,000 refugee plan on to Clinton. She wants to bring 137,000 refugees in. I don't. But that's worse in some ways. But at the same time, that's a small number compared to how many people would have to be displaced due to a Nazi-like presidential candidate. Force walking through the cities of America with police going door to door seeing if you're Muslim. You can only imagine how you white Americans and people are good gol dang embodying Americans are actually going to feel when you're approached at the door by a goose squad with Nazi goose squad saying, "Are you Muslim? We need your papers. You look Muslim." And then we all have to prove our religion. I mean, you can only imagine the mindlessness that would ensue from having a Trump-like president. Now, Mark Cuban destroyed Neil Cavuto in a head-to-head verbal match. I wouldn't doubt it. That's good. I really respect Mark for standing up and putting a $10 million offer on the table to Trump. I mean, yeah, take 4 hours. Go for it, dude. That's awesome. It's the best thing I've seen in the media for a long time, and I respect Mark Cuban for doing that. Outstanding. And he's a self-made billionaire. He's not a guy who borrowed money from his dad and kind of parlayed it. He worked really hard to get started. At least that's all I know. If you have other information about Mark Cuban, I'd like to see it. I have not seen one thing implicating him in a money transfer from dad. Yeah, he'd vote for a body double over Trump. Well, I guess I said the same thing. Bill Maher said he'd vote for even in dead Clinton over Trump. Yeah. Well, Clinton may be dead. There's a possibility that she may not be alive. So many of you Democrats are deciding whether you really want a fake Clinton over Trump. Yeah. Some people I can tell, especially the ones that voted for Barack Obama without bothering to check his Kenyan background. You probably would easily vote for the original, the fake clone Clinton. Here's a really good close-up of the Clinton before and after her replacement. And I think you'll get a chance to take a look at this. This is really good. We got it last night from Scissor Fight. It's from I Spy originally. Check that out. Amazing stuff. It's going to slowly show you. Right. We'll bring a little music in. Seems like that hand is original. This hand is not original. The index finger is different. Yeah, so you can vote for the bimbo, the shill, or the greedmonger. Yeah. The Mississippi mantle and the caldera splitting is a very serious subject I'd be more than willing to talk about. Absolutely. I believe that there could be a heating up of the Earth's crust due to planned global climate change. Purposeful global climate change orchestrated by an elite group of people that want to trigger any type of major event because they've got a serious problem on their hands. They have to cover a huge amount of borrowing. The debt that has been accumulated by the UN, the World Bank, the IMF, the European Central Bank, has been a huge weight which they cannot justify. And that is creating kind of a reverse effect, a global economic collapse. And in the process, there's hundreds of thousands of people watching this right now. This show has been artificially held down to a certain number of people. I can't believe you don't know that. Let's see what we got here. Sheriff Woody, what do you have? Ah, yeah, longer. There you go. Even Paul McCartney's saying about his double. It's longer. He denies having been replaced, or does he? Yeah, that's an interesting subject. Thanks. But no, having a fake Hillary is entirely possible, so I wouldn't put it past him. I am real. No, I am the real guy. Let me show you my original picture in 2008. You can see I've kind of stayed the same, but I managed to stay youthful looking despite with modern lighting and camera work. Despite the fact that I'm really, 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 healthier than I was even 8 years ago. I have a video of me actually talking to the camera when we first started this. We were 50 days into this when I kicked this off against Barack Obama. And I did a video just kind of walking up and talking to the American people. Out of the beach. This is 100 days into Barack Obama's administration. First I'm going to go to that and show you, and then I'll show you something older. Hi, I'm David John Sponheim. It's been about 100 days since Barack Obama took office as President of the United States. And in that time period, he spent close to $3.2 trillion. Money we don't have. Money we won't even have in the next 10 years. And I'm beginning to think that he's not the guy for the job. And if you agree with me, and like many Democrats, I left the Democratic Party because Barack Obama didn't really come across as an honest person to me. So I suggest you vote for me in 2012 as an America's Third Party candidate and begin changing this government from the top down. Bring honesty back to America. Bring honesty back to politics. And that's what I think we can do. So prosecute Obama, everybody. Step away from the Trump-Hillary paradigm and let's prosecute Obama. Let's do the unthinkable. Let's stop the two parties. By writing my name in and getting this thing off the ground and forcing the mainstream media to take on all of the issues that I brought up for 8 years on our show. Let's do this. You can see I was a little down the fact that, we're still fighting the mainstream media back in 2012. So let me show you what else I have here. This is from 2008, right during the campaign when I realized that we were being pretty much censored on a daily basis and we couldn't get any traction in the mainstream media.
Hi, good morning. As you can see, I'm still wearing the shirt I wore last night and yesterday at Blog TV. It's exhilarating to do Blog TV. We've been having an incredible time. This is in fact day 54. I thought yesterday was day 54, but we did a recount. And we determined that today is day 54 as we approach the election. And as your potential write-in candidate, David John Sponheim, I'm here to show you my hybrid electric vehicle. It's not a plug-in hybrid. That's something I want to build at the U.S. Auto Corporation that I want you, the people, to own. Check out this vehicle. Isn't that a beautiful car? Everywhere we go, we get looks. One of the reasons people look at us is we get about 60 miles per gallon.
Yeah, 60 miles per gallon. Same voice, same face. I stay healthy. I eat right. I avoid GMO food. I work out. I can't say I'm perfect. I gained about 10 pounds since that time. Same person, same face.
Politician, not a leader, with Barack Obama. They chose a man that told them what they wanted to hear, not what they needed to hear, and not what we need to do. Barack Obama has no experience in business. He clearly is running this country into the ground, spending way too much money, $3.2 trillion within the first 100 days. That's a big mistake. I believe our country is in dire shape. I believe the economy is getting...
Yeah, so I did this show back... Yeah, well, I did the show back in 2008. Started there, and it's the same guy. Yeah. Even Jimmy Carter, he looked pretty young toward the end there. Yeah, he's still doing okay, by the way. Jimmy Carter did he beat cancer? He actually cured of cancer. Did you hear? He actually, I wouldn't doubt he's smoking a doobie right now. So you are looking at the candidate who will stop the trend of Obamacare in its tracks, revert all of our health care costs back to 2008 levels, force Congress to re-sign the Affordable Health Care Act, even though it's failing our country financially. No. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. It's like saying I'm clearly not this person here in this video. But, I could easily, have said that I'm from Calcutta, and Minnesota Somalians who joined Al-Shabaab have committed suicide bombings. I know. I'm worried about Minnesota. I talked to the administrative director of the hospital at the Mayo Clinic at Rochester, Minnesota, about the situation, and they have a pretty good handle on it in terms of health care. So I wasn't too worried, but consider all refugees entering our country to come to a grinding halt. I will not bring refugees into this country. In fact, what we've done overseas has created the refugee crisis in Syria. When we funded the rebels in Syria to the tune of $1.16 billion, that's how much our government spent on the rebels, we've seeded an economic hit on Syria, and it created the crisis which has now led to Syrians fleeing their country. So you got to understand, all of this is pre-programmed and planned to weaken our government and weaken our border. I will never allow open border situations like Hillary Clinton would. Hillary is part of a globalist plan, an agenda to take down the very essence of what we call America. I wouldn't doubt she's already written a deal with China for property in the event we default on our note to China. I'll ban the bigot guy anytime I want. Yeah, later. All right, so as you can see, I mute a few people during the show, and people that try to make a story out of something, out of nothing. These people have been doing all kinds of things. They've been confabulating stories about me and some drug dealer I have no knowledge of. They come up with stories about me having gay relations with some guy. I've never had gay relations with anyone. They're claiming I'm a homosexual. I'm not. I mean, all these things because they absolutely do not have a damn thing on me. And the elitists are scared. They don't understand how an impeccable person like myself, with a perfect background, and you can check my criminal history if you want. I have no criminal history. I'm serious. There are people out there that really just don't like me, and they want to just disrupt our campaign. But thank you, Substar. Mostly haters and trolls, you know. Could be paid haters and trolls. Could even be people making money doing it. They could be jealous. You're right. Well, they do this in order to impale my character, and that's not possible because I'm perfect. You couldn't get cleaner than I am. I'm almost impeccable. I've got a history of not having a lot of work. They could definitely pick that apart. Simply because I had my own business for many years and had to close a couple businesses just to stay afloat. But I never went into debt in those businesses, and I never closed a business because they were being bankrupted. I never had a bankruptcy like Donald Trump's many bankruptcies. So there's reasons why I chose not to keep running failed businesses, and I definitely could answer to that. But we're up against the corporations here. They want to kill the little guy, and I was the little guy out there trying to sell advertising in a big fish market. And I can tell you that my experience will really help the small businesses in America because I know exactly how to lower the regulations on those businesses. No, I would never go for apartheid. I would certainly see there's a problem in South Africa right now where white people are being killed after the end of apartheid. So don't think for a second that there's not a problem as a result of what that they did in South Africa. But. Okay, I am the Prosecute Obama birther candidate, the original one, folks, so welcome. I'm the guy who made all the different inroads into the birther movement. I even contacted one of the renowned experts on documents firsthand before the birther issue broke with Donald Trump, and I'm on record doing that. I talked to Doug Vogt. It's on our Blog Talk Radio link on our old site. If you click on the old site button when you go to America's Third Party, you will see that I am the official guy. And I was reaching out to all the experts in 2008 and trying to find out more and more about the real origin of Barack Obama. So I believe he totally lied to the American people. I believe that Michelle is a transgender. And I can tell you that our country is in dire need of credible intelligence in the White House. I wouldn't be running if I wasn't a genius, and I can tell you that my efforts are to grow constantly as we develop more and more inroads into the population. We're bypassing the mainstream media. I mean, you realize how hard this is to do? Word of mouth is extremely slow. Once it picks up steam, it's exponential. So it could really come crashing in on the two-party system by the time the election starts in about 50 days. Yeah, I believe Michelle is a tranny. I believe all the evidence is there that Michelle Obama has been faking his gender since the beginning. I think Barack Obama's an open homosexual on the down low. He even was involved with a homosexual group at the Trinity United Church of Chicago. Right, think about it. Explosion in Chelsea, New York. Chelsea Clinton, good point, scissor fight. Yeah, they're doing some sort of a mock thing, I think, in New York City. I'll tell you about hybrid capitalism in just a second.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
I see a peepee. Do you see a peepee? Yeah. So I'm not making a joke here. This is serious. We've been totally lied to. Our country has been completely deceived on so many levels. I'm carrying with me the load of knowledge that I've acquired over the past 8 years. In every single way, I believe that we are in danger as a nation. There's no other way to describe it. The chemicals that they're dumping in the atmosphere, it's creating a massive hole in the ozone. And the Democrats are absolutely absurd in thinking, oh yeah, here they go. It's a CGI. Oh yeah, right, sure. It's a live video. It's an absolute copy of that show. I believe that we've got chemicals being sprayed on us like insects. Their global agenda is to kill us off with GMOs in our bodies. If you don't think this is the case, then you probably aren't really concerned about anything. They've got a massive amount of fluoride currently in our water system, way more than is legally safe, and they're trying to dumb us down. And in the process, they've made us believe all kinds of fake things. Heck, they even got us believing that we landed on the moon, and there's a real stiff breeze out there. So if you're going to have to rethink a lot of the things that you've been talking about in your life and thinking about, when you come to this realization that we need a third party. I know, Dave, I'm confused. Donald Trump states he now believes Obama is a U.S. citizen. Thank you, 483. Yeah, I'm the original birther candidate. He took that idea from me in 2011. I'm here for you, man. We're going to prosecute Obama. I need your vote. I need you to write my name in. We don't need Trump votes. We need a third party. Trump wanted to hijack the third party plan. He actually wanted to step in and say he was going to run as a third party. When I've been working on it for 6 or 7 years at the time, I'm 8 years into this. And you can see they are scared as hell. We got 50 days to the election. They are scared as hell. They're coming in to try to completely discredit me. They can't. They are frightened. I can smell fear in the Trump camp. And the reality is, I'm much better than Trump. I'm not a reactionary. I'm a centrist. I was a Democrat for 30 years. I'm a person the Democratic Party told to shut up because I said I didn't want to ratify the war in Iraq. I'm on record stopping any efforts that would lead to more war. I'm actually against this fake ISIS propaganda tool that the government's been using. Trump watched our show one night and he came up with me saying that Clinton and Obama were behind ISIS. He went out and said that. And he is also the person who thinks he's going to attack ISIS. So how could Hillary and Clinton and Barack Obama create ISIS like I say, which I think they did? And how could it be a threat? So nothing about his idea of defending our country overseas makes sense, even increasing the military spending. Now, Trump is on record saying he wants to increase the military spending. Our country is way maxed out, nearly $1 trillion in military spending. So Trump has got absolutely no idea how to cut the budget. He's just a spendthrift, much like Barack Obama, who spent $8.8 trillion over budget. Obama has 42% level voters. Okay. Yeah, you don't need clouds to, yeah. So I take on all the tough issues, and obviously for a reason. I'm not going to sit back and allow America to just have any third party. It has to be a third party that takes on all the tough issues. It can't be anything but that. Mad Dog's in the room. Hey, man. But I think Hillary has got some deep connections to the Illuminati. I believe her intent is absolutely evil. And for me to have to say that I think, she's less dangerous than Trump, that shows you how evil I think Trump is. Yeah. I'm not liking any of this. That's why I'm asking you to write my name in. Well, I would love for you to feel safe, where you didn't have to worry about getting a ticket going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, getting pulled over and your whole family rousted for the smell of marijuana. You can only imagine how you could be destroyed by the coming police state that's brewing right now under our feet. Look, if you don't stop the police state now, it's going to be harder and harder to stop it in the future. It's getting to be an absolute slippery road that we're not going to be able to get off of. The police state is being implemented because they want to initiate martial law to cover their financial ass. They will also plan a war to do that. It doesn't matter. The elitists don't care. They've already lied to people. They've already committed genocide. They don't care if they have to stick you in a FEMA camp to get rid of you and gas you. Look at Hitler. He got funding from the Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, the Vanderbilts. These are people that financed the origin. The Windsor family even financed the origin of Adolf Hitler. U.S. people backing a known dictator. Now, what does that tell you? It tells me that Hitler wasn't the problem. The elitists were the problem. Hitler was a bad, bad guy, but he wasn't the problem. He was horrible, but he wasn't the problem. So we've got a big, big problem here on our hands, and they're willing to control these greedy politicians like Hillary and Donald, and these people are posing a national security risk to our country. Yeah, the chemtrails are harmful. They invented ISIS. ISIS came out. You want to know when ISIS happened? I can even give you the date and the time, but I'm not going to specifically spell it out. ISIS happened when Barack Obama released Bergdahl, and in exchange for 5 top Taliban terrorists. And he put those top Taliban terrorists, you remember that happening? For the release of this deserter, so he could come back home and serve some prison time. That's when ISIS happened. 5 Taliban leaders were put back in play, and instantly they were pulled together. The same network of CIA agents were brought together, and they pushed everyone forward. You know, I don't think the next president should be required to take any classes. It's important to know that people do different things. Everyone has a unique intelligence. You can go to my site, davidsponheim.com, and you can see my intelligence report that was done when I was 15 years old. I posted it. And check it out. You can see I spiked in certain areas, meaning I'm very, very intelligent. I'm a genius in one particular area. But I'm not that great of a learner. I've actually been, dealing with learning issues in programming for about 20 years. I can't get into it. I just don't, it doesn't jive with me. I don't know about you, but programming is almost ant-like to creative thought. So obviously I've got some weaknesses in my profile, but that doesn't mean I don't have 185 IQ, being I am perfect in one area. Picture perfect. So, that being said, I want everyone to know that we're all in I don't have social awkwardness at all. I'm the life of the party. And if you don't get your head out of your ass, Mr. You-know-what, you're going to be banned again. I think I explained to you, you're not allowed to do that in this show. You could just go down the drain with the other people that are coming in the show like that. Trump doesn't have an IQ that's even close to 110. He's struggling. Wharton was lucky to pass him. You couldn't get him to show you his grade point average out of Wharton or his results of his tests. You wouldn't get him to do that. I'm getting your opinion, I got that, but Beekman is trying to discredit me or demoralize me. And that's a mutable offense, and it will be a bannable offense. I wouldn't have lasted 8 years talking to chat every night for 4 hours a night if I was a person who was going to allow people to denigrate me every night. So I make the life of trolls kind of difficult. It just brings on more action. I think Bayer is a Nazi corporation. I think their roots are in Nazi Germany. Big Pharma has its traces there. There's a lot of serious concern that Bayer is trying to take over Monsanto because their plan is the final solution. If you're not aware of the final solution Hitler had, it is the New World Order. It is Agenda 2030. They are one and the same. I'm sure there are smart people in every family, Mac Daddy. Seriously, why are you even asking me questions? I'm not a nationalist, no. Are you a nationalist? Because I don't believe in the basic demoralizing aspect of the right wing. It bothers me that these people want to denigrate people. They're like bullies. I don't really think we should actually have bullies. It's important to know that bullies are bad. Bad people are bullies. No, you can freeze a lot of food. I don't run more than one freezer or two freezers, because if you need to charge those up, what you want to do in a serious situation, you want to get a backup generator and run your refrigerator or your dual freezers, whatever, on a 3.5-hour charge. Keep it at extra cold and run it directly off, and don't open the door. And do that every day during the disaster, and your food will last long enough for you to eat it. And then open that door and pull out that stuff when you need it fast. Monkey Times, I don't think it's time for you to be in the show. Yeah, you've kind of outwore your welcome. Later. Yeah, we kind of ruined his opportunity. A lot of extreme liberals like Monkey Times are having a hard time dealing with reality. We have to support a non-GMO label program. Yes, absolutely. Well, I read you my book on hybrid capitalism, but I'm telling you, our website is all about it. We've got a plan to jumpstart the economy. Let me start with just a few things to get you on the track to understanding what we're all about. So when you talk about a third party, you'll have something to say. Let's just do that. I'll give you the hit points. There is no Munker time. Kool-Aid Anthrax, you're next to go, because you are Monkey Times. You just popped in the room, Kool-Aid Anthrax. You just gave yourself up. No, you were in prior to Monkey Times. You're right. I don't like the Dark Act. I won't sign it. Actually, Barack Obama offered. He said he would make sure that by the end of his term, he would have GMO labeling in place. He got rid of it when he signed the Dark Act. Okay, I'll give Monkey Times a break. I'm not that hard-nosed. Okay. But he knows the deal. Once he starts demoralizing, he's doing what the elitists want to do. They want to ruin everybody who wants to start out and do something. I think it's Monkey Times. Yeah. Thanks. Not Munker Times. I think it's Monkey Times. There you go. So money talks, the election is bought, but your vote really is up to you. Guys, you need to find a better candidate for president. Trump and Donald and Hillary and Clinton, not good ideas. These are dynasties. These are people that are trying to create a dynasty, virtually turning our country into a for payment political system. If you can't see that, you can't see anything. I mean, you might as well go do a tap dance somewhere, like this ancestor of mine. So apparently what happened was Hillary went to Logan, West Virginia, and she was banned from Logan, West Virginia, and that's why she was being booed. The residents requested that Bill Clinton not travel to their area either, and the former president ignored the request, went to Logan anyway, and got booed while he was on stage. A previous Hillary Clinton stump speech referenced putting coal miners out of business and did not go over well in West Virginia or in coal country. Yeah, I will protect the coal industry. There's 770,000 workers in the coal industry, and we've had a lot of supporters in our room. Kentucky guy, he used to come in a lot. Guest 226 raised a huge issue. It appeared last night on Google. There's a situation where Trump is saying that people should use the Second Amendment if Hillary were to become president and appoint judges. And that's a veiled threat against Hillary. Well, I'm sorry you said something decent, Beekman. Are you having a hissy fit? Thanks, Monkey Times. David, I was lucky today and got Cheerios. Yeah, they're non-GMO and no high fructose. Yes, Monkey, yes. But let me tell you something else. a recent shipment of oat-based snack material from the oatmeal company, the world-famous oatmeal company, I think you know the one I'm talking about without naming it, was tainted with glyphosate. And they're using the non-GMO oat product because no oats are GMO. But they're using the non-GMO oat, which is really an incredibly disturbing fact. They're using it as a rotation crop. So they're taking non-GMO oats and rotating them on glyphosate Roundup ready fields. So I need all of you to be aware of that. Okay. Coal is a very filthy, polluting industry, but I'm still going to protect it, and we're going to try to help the coal miners with a couple solutions. I want to loop the carbon, for one. Every single bit of carbon pollution that's produced from coal should be going back in a circle and reissued into a kinetic generator. We need to have secondary and tertiary kinetic generators that run off heat generated from coal. I can help develop these. I can work with companies like the Idaho National Laboratories to make this possible. But more importantly, the coal workers need a place to go, like an air-conditioned room that's plastic lined down there in the coal mine. A recreation room, because there's a serious problem in the coal mines where they don't have any time to actually recreate. These guys are dying, man, and they don't wear their respirators when they're in the coal because their headgear is completely overheating. So definitely some modifications, and this will not cost industry a thing. I'm not going to force regulate. This is the Democrats' plan, to constantly lay penalties on industry, and it never amounts to anything. The problem isn't the politicians, it's the problem is the American people. Our freedom has caused us to become lax. Well, I disagree, Rimfire. People in the USA are reactive in nature. Unless something is biting their ass, it's of no concern to their little soccer parents-based world. I get your whole point in a general way, but I think it's more suspicious than that. I think they've got us dumbed down with fluoride in our water system, chemicals in the sky. I'm not kidding. You want Tim Gunn to play Donald Trump? I can't do that. I can't do a Donald Trump voice. I'm still trying to pull it off. I can't make it happen. Maybe I'm too emotionally involved in it. I have to disconnect from the whole thing to really put the whole thing out there. I'm biased, yeah. I just dislike the guy so intensely I can't do his voice. I don't know. All right, we got to have some fun here. So Sarah's coming in just a bit for a little time with you guys, and I will be... I don't need to do hair. My hair's fine. Thanks.
I think I could probably pull off a Donald Trump.
It's wonderful. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
It's wonderful.
I think it's because he's in my tonal range.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe you should be Donald Trump for Halloween. I can get a wig for you. All right, so we're going to track the Parkinson's disease of Hillary Clinton, while you people who believe that she's somehow not suffering from Parkinson's disease continue to believe that she's got pneumonia, but she's walking around after 2 days in bed. Now, I had pneumonia. I can tell you cannot walk around after 2 days in bed. So, big problem.
You can, it's not good for you.
No, you can't pull that off. It's just... I almost think that her recent speech was pretending to cough at the very end, because I think the fake Hillary has to gain some credibility. I think that's a fact. All right, so we're here to get me elected, and you guys can hang out with me as I work on a plan to do that every night. I'm the only presidential candidate who's done this every night for the past 8 years, let alone anyone who's done this every night for even 1 year, even 1 month. So, I mean, I'm way ahead of the competition in this area on the internet. And I think everything makes sense now when you see how effortless this is and how we do our show in such an organic and real-time way. Beekman, I told you, no criticism. Talk about the issues, or you won't get banned from the show. Jeez, can you believe this guy? I mean, how many times has he been banned? Like 5 times, and he keeps coming back with critical statements? I just don't understand why a person can't take no for an answer. You listen to me. You're going to be banned next time this keeps up. I know. You're trying to help me, but you haven't helped me at all. I'm going to mute you. God, can you believe this guy? He has no idea how hard it is to do a show like this every night. Unreal. So ending war, the anti-war rally. We need something new, something fun, something now, something wow, something Charlie. You wouldn't get that. None of you guys were born when I was watching a commercial called Charlie on TV. How would you know? Something wow, something now, Charlie. Hey, this is where we live, kind of. We live in a beautiful home near beautiful water and forest and nature, and we want to preserve that. We don't want more jets flying over our head. And every year, that's all they do is fly over our head. We're living right in the middle of the Northwest, where they do testing of planes. So this is a key area. I've talked to people and I said, I really don't like the jet sound. It's just terrible. And then they just react immediately. That's the sound of freedom. You're talking about the sound of freedom, buddy. You can't stop the jets. And they get all indignant. And they think I'm some sort of a scumbag. When they're putting out 120 decibels and they're burning gas like crazy, and we need a much more versatile, disposable, unmanned aerial vehicle force. So when I'm president, I will take the area that I'm in right here, and we'll be firing a couple of admirals to start with. And then we're going to have the entire Robotics Institute developed right on this island to develop unmanned vehicles. And we'll kick this area off with tremendous job opportunity, which won't involve jets. And all the jets that are flying over our area right now will still be here in defense of our country, and they'll warm them up on occasion and fly them in one direction over a small area. They'll be ready for action. But most of the jets will be down in Arizona or Nevada at the China Lake testing facility out in the Mojave Desert, where it's been proven that that's a much better area, and there's no population to speak of except for a couple of small land rats and gerbils and lizards. Nope, I'm not going to overtax cigarettes. No, I don't believe in a luxury tax. It's a recidivistic way of solving the problem. Look at California. People stopped smoking and started vaping, and now they're upset that they don't have enough tax money. I mean, what do the Democrats want from people? People are saving so many chemicals by vaping. Why would they want to, go ahead and go back to cigarettes? And California's missing out, and so is Washington. They're missing out on a lot of revenue from cigarette sales being down. So I don't believe in luxury taxes. I don't believe in regulation, except monopolies and huge corporations. That we can do.
Well, the explosion building collapse. Maybe they had explosives inside the building that went off. I don't know. I'm real. There's my two thumbs. There's my two fingers. So, I'm real. Alright. Well, like they had Building 7, they said pull it. Like they had already rigged it for exploding at some point. Maybe this one that happened in Chelsea, that maybe it was already rigged and it accidentally blew up. I don't know. It's very strange what happened there. Was that what happened? 348? Aha. Alright. There's no building collapse, you say? Alright, I'll have to check it out. Let's be clear. No, that's Obama. I don't listen to enough Trump to know what his little things are. Welcome, Hot Dog. That would be a lot of frogs, elephant juice. A lot of frogs. Thank you, 731. Yes. Oh, there was an Alabama pipeline explosion as well. Charlottesville. So it was in Charlottesville, Virginia? Someone was saying that earlier. And then I read something about I tried looking for it, but it hadn't reached the news yet. Well, I'll be with David for my entire life, Fester, for as long as we're both alive, so I think that's good enough, don't you? What do I think about the implementation of drones? I think they have to be a little bit careful with video equipment, but actually I think drones are fine. I don't have I don't have a problem with drones. Yes, I heard. Oh, yes, will be gas prices going up because of the Alabama pipeline. The seedy truth about healthy vegetable oils. Thank you. Especially David was telling me about canola oil, that it's not good at all. Well, yes, but then people will make more 731. No, Sheriff Woody, I would never do that. All right. Strange questions come in here. Strange. Yes. Good. 597. All right, I'm gonna look in here. So I want to look up Charlottesville. Third explosion, Charlottesville. Oh, a transformer failed in downtown Charlottesville. An underground transformer explosion. That's what happened there. Underground transformer. Okay. I don't know if David would be mad. I think he would just laugh at it. I think that would make entertainment, but that's not me. I don't think that we do need to increase taxation on the U.S. tobacco industry. No, UK 0121. I think that I think there's already been, I think I would continue the campaign to educate about how bad smoking is, that happens in schools, etc. But I don't think that we need any taxation, because the thing is that the people that use tobacco products, they're addicted. And I think addiction is I don't necessarily think people can control their addictions. And I don't think that they should be, it's like a medical diagnosis, and I don't think that they should be punished by taxation for having an addiction. What is that, elephant juice? You're not addicted, you smoke to relax? Well, you could become addicted. Here's the thing, 142. Can you go for a full week without smoking to relax? If you can go for a full week without smoking at all, I would say you're not addicted. But if you can't go for a full week without it, you might be addicted. Alright, go out, have fun. It's Saturday night, for heaven's sake. So you should go out. There's a guest named like that. Easy. First stage of addiction, denial. First step is admitting that you have an addiction. Yes, see, I actually agree with that, increasing taxes on coffee rather than increasing taxes. If you're going to increase taxes on cigarettes, then increase the taxes on coffee. I mean, it's amazing what these people pay for a mocha latte. Yeah, I know, Dr. Meow, right? It's crazy. Why would you think I'm an elitist? Or that other thing? I don't want it. I don't want a coffee. It's fine. Let's not tax coffee and let's not tax cigarettes. How about that? Or tea. Let's not tax any of it. Let's just get together and build houses. the first stage of addiction is doing drugs alone. I don't know. Yeah, why not more taxes? No more taxes are needed. Should we read all the tax code? It's too much. No, we don't need to tax children's candy either. Forget all these taxes. Why tax things? And why say that we need to tax all this stuff to like lead people to make better choices? I don't think that actually is going to help. I don't know. There was it one of these places, there's a tax on sugar somewhere, and I don't know if it actually helped. Well, no, 973, I disagree with that whole national debt issue. Our entire monetary system is a joke, so, well, not a joke, but it's just, I think that we can build a baseline plus economy. I think that we can do a much better job. Cannabis could cause problems too if consumed irresponsibly. All depends on how you consume it, I guess. Okay, sugar tax. And why are we taxing things? We don't need to tax anything. You inject your cannabis, that's probably better for your lungs than anything else. Whoa. David is going to love this article, Earth Sky, especially for Monday, Conspiracy Monday. Retailers will still be able to sell cut-price fattening drinks because of a loophole in the new sugar levy. That's in England. Can a sugar tax stop obesity? CNN article in August, about two weeks ago. Nation's introduction of taxes and levies are forcing companies producing sugar-sweetened beverages and soft drinks to reconsider. There's a sugar tax problem in South Africa. Let's check this out. Oh yes, I'm not a big fan of all that. Ah, thanks, Salty Dog. Alright, how much sugar is in that drink? They compare the different amounts of sugar in some of America's top-selling beverages, according to Beverage Industry's 2013 State of the Industry report. To the sugar found in common sugary snacks. I'll do that in a moment. What would you do to avoid paying more taxes? The question is facing soft drink manufacturers the world over, most recently in the UK, and will eventually become a subject for many food producers and providers as governments realize the potential to use taxes to regulate what companies put in their products. So they have to reconsider their formulas or the quantity of their servings, all with a focus on one particular poison, sugar. Alright. There can be as much as 33 to 35 grams of sugar in a can of soda. So Mexico instituted a 10% tax on sugary drinks, such as juice and soda. purchases of taxed beverages fell by 6% in the first year. Sales of water and non-tax beverages rose by 4%. Not all programs have worked. Denmark instituted a fat tax on foods containing more than 2.3% saturated fat, which was abolished the following year after the public failed to accept it and instead just went into other countries to stock up on food. UK announced a soft drink levy as part of a larger plan for action against childhood obesity. All right. And some places are considering U.S. is about self-regulation. All right, let's look at the fructose in syrups. Yeah, well, the fructose in corn, or the corn syrup is worse than other things. I guess they could put fructose in it. All right, so I'm just gonna scroll through this slideshow. How much sugar is in that drink? From CNN.com. And it also by Perry something. Alright, so Coca-Cola compared to, are those Rolos or Twix? Pepsi, let's see, they have 5 in Pepsi and 5 in Coca-Cola. Alright, that's a lot of sugar. Oreos, apple juice versus Oreos. I think I played this before. Arizona tea. Lipton tea. What are these? Red Bull. I don't know what this is. Oh, 3/4 of a cup of generic brand Frosted Flakes. This is a Monster Energy drink versus Frosted Flakes. Milk versus Starburst. 4 Starbursts in a 8-ounce glass of milk. Wait, a single Starburst has 2.7 grams. Okay. Silk versus Starburst. Yeah, Coke Zero is absolute chemicals. It's like vaping for Coke. It's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, almond milk. 2 Starbursts. These juices has 29 grams of sugar. Each Chips Ahoy cookie contains 3.6 grams of sugar. Alright. 32-ounce Gatorade has 56 grams of sugar. Whoa. Starbucks iced flavored latte, 28 grams of sugar, equivalent to 2.5 Krispy Kreme donuts.
So I think you made a milestone today. You did the best baking of waffles I've ever seen today.
Yay!
It's the best waffles I've ever had.
Thanks for the compliment.
It's incredible. I just microed one of the small wedges and put a little of that organic peanut butter from 1985 on there. I opened up my 1985 final jar of organic peanut butter. It was amazing. I mean, you put it on it's non-GMO wheat we put in the cupboard in 2000, and she pulled it all together. It was incredible. Yeah, organic peanut butter.
The big trick was the egg whites.
I know. It really is a trick. She
I
foams
finally
them.
figured out how to fold them in correctly too, because I watched Giardia, I guess.
You know, if I had some like bacon flavored ketchup, might be okay if the waffles were bacon flavored. Yeah.
Meridian peanut butter, just peanuts. That sounds good.
I want to get that. We need to buy some organic peanut butter because that's the last jar of organic peanut butter I have. I have some non-GMO peanut butter that tastes weird that we got at a wholesale store.
Oh yeah.
The maple flavored one.
The maple bacon flavored. That is kind of weird.
We're keeping it for posterity, but we got these bottles for like 50 cents
waffles,
a piece.
I guess.
Or 25 cents.
Well, we put blueberries in our waffles. Are you talking about like blue corn?
Yeah, we put blueberries in the waffles. They are kind of blue. Yeah. We put an entire container of blueberries in there. So there's no evidence of terror connection in the intentional New York City explosion, according to Mayor Bill de Blasio. Thanks for that, Scissor Fight.
Well, the peanut butter we use isn't loaded with sugar. It's peanuts.
We just used straight
I don't
peanuts.
know
That
if
was
there's
straight
salt
peanuts.
in it.
There might have been a little salt for preservative, but I got these this jar of peanut butter at a health food store closeout sale for $1.25. Erewhon. Or no, they're called Arrowhead peanut butter. I don't know if they still make it, but made from Valencia peanuts, organic, and it was absolutely incredible.
And we had some like blackberry jam my sister made, and we used some of that, which was pretty good.
Yeah, your sister made great blackberry jam.
Today we used just like table syrup, I guess is what they would call it. But I like maple syrup.
Yeah, I really love real maple syrup. She went to get a bulk. We actually found some really good deals on maple syrup. Oh, I know. I just love a great waffle, and she made such an incredible waffle today. I added the ground. We put some ground seeds in there from.
Oh, I can absolutely leave and let David take over in 2 minutes. Oh, Vermont maple, that would be good.
You know, I love almond butter, but I really prefer organic peanut to anything, really. I'm just a big peanut butter fan. And nowadays, peanut butters, you don't know what they're in. Most of them have hydrogenated rapeseed, cottonseed in them.
Yeah, we didn't do whipped cream.
Well, you know, I don't really want to have clogged arteries. You know, I know that you don't really care since you had your gonads fried at the as a first responder at Chernobyl. So I'd say live it up if I were you. Pour the cream on, man. Enjoy life. L'chaim. I'm not Jewish.
I understand. He's a very good-looking guy.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about somebody else.
You.
Oh, yeah.
They said, Sarah, you have to understand, people are goo-goo over David.
That's funny. It's okay. A lot of you are goo-goo over Sarah, too. Bacon pancakes, I know. I'd love to try a recipe where we do bacon and maybe chicken. Some cut-up chicken pancakes. And I'm thinking of Atlantic salmon waffles. I think we should try everything. I've got some smoked salmon that would be great in a waffle. No, I'm not anti-Semitic. I really like Jews. In fact, I'm going to be playing a video for you about how much I want to thank the Jewish people in just a bit. I just don't like a Zionist takeover by elitists of our country. And the Rothschilds have been controlling our country for so long through the Federal Reserve that we really need to stop them right now. We can't just do this tomorrow or 10 years from now. They're literally destroying our country slowly and rotting the brains of our people using chemical means. And these people absolutely don't care about GMOs. They want to just dump products in the market that will kill us, causes tumors in laboratory animals.
Good night, everyone. See you Monday.
Good night, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to start by saying this real quick. Sponheim is a castle in Germany. You can Google the castle Sponheim, and it'll show you exactly where I'm from. My family came from over here, behind the Rhineland, in the valley of the Rhineland. And this is an actual picture of the castle. The original castle. I actually have a really close-up video of the castle I could show you. I'm not white. No, let me change the coloring here. I just had to get the light up. There was a problem. This will be better. Are you happier with that? Would this be better? I'm trying to figure out what's the best for you here. What makes you feel good? A little pink. How's that? Better? The nice thing about having an adjustable camera is I can put anything out here. There's a town of Sponheim. This is the Cloister Sponheim. It's a beautiful cathedral. I've never been to it, but it's absolutely beautiful. Inside you can see the cathedral. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Would you like to enter the Church of David? Greetings, brethren. Welcome to our show. It's been a long time since I've done a Sunday broadcast. Oh, that's right. It's not Sunday. Well, let's rip it up. Let's get down on it. Yeah, so it's now a baby Monsanto Bayer aspirin. So I wouldn't doubt that they're going to probably put Roundup in the Bayer aspirin. Your opinion on the $38 billion package to Israel for the next 10 years? We predicted it would be happening based on the email that Colin Powell said that they have 200 nuclear weapons. We have to stop the $38 billion package. I need to get Colin Powell in the White House and get debriefed on the subject of the nuclear weapons we sold Israel. Okay? Thank you. If we don't get down on this whole concept and realize that if they don't sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement, we will not be able to give them $38 billion. The nuclear non-proliferation agreement is extremely important. Yeah, I could be like Reverend Anderson. Mr. Anderson, it's a church, a place of worship. You can see that there's no cross here. There's no image of Jesus either. I noticed that. Yeah, Colin Powell is a traitor in that he put us in the war with Iraq based on his statement that there were definitely weapons of mass destruction. So it is rather disreputable. This is not a comedy show. You are hereby corrected. When the show started, a long time ago, when you were born, and your mom said, "Oh, what a cute baby. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with him?" And you'll hear those words over and over again the rest of your life. What's wrong with him? Explosion rocks Manhattan neighborhood. 25 hurt. Yeah, we got the story. It's no longer that important. I'm so sorry people got hurt. A lack of vitamin D is indicated by lack of sunshine. Sunshine creates vitamin D in our bodies. New guidelines on vitamin D, what you need to know. Experts show, recommend everyone consider vitamin D supplements every winter. You know, they're finding in our Northwest area there's a vitamin D deficiency. And they say it's one of the reasons why people are getting ill in our area. So they're doing kind of studies on that. That's special. Hitler did not kill himself. Did you not get the memo on Adolf Hitler? Rocky Mountain High in Colorado. John Denver, what a great guy. God, you know. He had such an incredible spirit, and we'll always remember him for his deep-rooted ties to West Virginia. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads, West Virginia, mountain mama. Sorry. You know, these nights doing the anti-war rally are kind of difficult. You know, it's not exactly a Saturday night for me. You know, I feel like hitting the town, going dancing, but there's nobody here to dance. There's no places to dance. We live out on an island. St. Cloud is crawling. with Muslims, I know. You can thank Barack Obama for that. Why East Coast gases are about to explode, folks. We know that if Trump got elected, Saudi Arabia would stop sending oil to us. They've already said that they would shut off oil supplies for the statements he's made about Muslims. So Donald Trump is not exactly a smart man when it comes to making enemies. As Native American protesters face arrest in North Dakota for blocking the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline, the anti-media Kerry Weldler reports a gasoline pipeline spill is currently unfolding in the South. The leak has prompted Alabama governor, Tennessee governor, and Georgia governor to declare states of emergency. Wow, okay, this is serious. I thought they had it contained. Pipeline was built in 1962, and the current leak in Helena, Alabama is the largest one colonial pipeline has experienced in 20 years, Reuters noted. Well, this is a serious pipeline problem, and I don't mean to belittle it earlier. I thought they had it defined to a lake. I don't think John Denver ever had any accusation of pedophilia. Unlike Michael Jackson. Yes. Well, Ronald Reagan was doing a good deed for Somalia at the time. Sending in refugees into Minnesota was his way of saying thanks for not killing all of our soldiers. I mean, seriously, Reagan blew it. If you're really saying that, well, he let refugees into California, yeah, and then Minnesota, then you're saying it all started with Reagan. I don't mind you saying that, because he really is the Illuminati puppet. He destroyed Minnesota. I know, well, you know, the land between the Rockies and the Mississippi is completely, heavily contaminated with glyphosate. I mean, we're going to have to work for years to clean the soil of our farmers. What damage has been done is almost irreversible, but we're going to get on it. But you got to get me to the White House, folks. You can't get some sort of a shaking, babbling idiot who talks about using the Second Amendment against a presidential candidate. I couldn't believe that happened. Donald Trump said again that there's always a Second Amendment in relationship to Hillary. Now, here's a guy who's never been questioned about anything. And we're all saying, well, what do you mean? Well, why is Donald Trump being given so much leniency by the media? Well, for one, his toupee is absolutely horrendous. But I just think that we got a serious problem on our hands with both candidates being incompetent. Let's face it, it's just not good. We've got a very bad choice this year. Of course, we've had bad choices in the past, too. Look at Obama. Mogadishu St. Paul is a hellhole now. Well, we're going to work on that right away. We're going to go out the problem in Minnesota with the refugee crisis that was put on the table by the Democrats and by the Republicans. If you have any evidence whatsoever that John Denver was a pedophile, please present it. I want to see that. Yeah, David Brock is offering money to get dirt on Trump. You know, there's enough dirt out there to just have a field day. I don't understand why he's offering money. I mean, you could just go to my link library, David Brock. It's ready for you. The Trump link library is up and running. Where did we leave off last? Oh, yeah, here we are. 153 things Donald Trump has said and done that make him unfit to be the president. And I clicked the link, and it went to another link, which actually, if you click that link, you sometimes get it there to play. There it is. It's now up to 191 things Donald Trump has said and done that make him unfit for the presidency. There you have it. 191 things. So here's a direct link to the 191 things for you guys to get into. Click the second link, third link. Yeah, can you vote Cookie Monster? I know, everybody's saying, what the hell? This is insane. The chat is alive. The chat is alive with the sound of dissent. Da, 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 da. Sorry. I was trying to get a video of the Sponheim Castle. And as you know, I do 14 things at the same time, so sometimes things get put on the shelf. The chat room said... Yeah, it's amazing. Here is the town of Sponheim in the Rhineland. I'm not Jewish. This is in Germany. If you can't read German, let me read it for you. Die Gesellschaftsgewöhnstein ist nicht eigentlich Bergen der Grafen von Sponheim verbunden. Welcome to my castle. This is where we held people during the Inquisition and beyond. How many presidential candidates have a castle in their name? Pretty unstable aircraft. And look at the brickwork. I mean, you couldn't find a mason to lay brick that nice. We'll stop right there. I care about this country, yeah, but I wanted to show you how seriously committed my family's been to the takeover of our nation and other nations by the Rothschild family. Many, many years ago, the Rothschilds ran through the... they basically controlled regions of Germany. So my family had a long-standing disagreement with the Rothschilds. And we kept people from going through that were friendly to the Rothschilds. So we've been trying to stop the terror of this absolutely heinous, world-dominating family line, which is actually a descendant of the Bauer family line, from taking over the world. And I'm using a political means to uproot them. We are trying to uproot the Rothschild family and their New World Order control. It's definitely an intention of theirs to control the world, but most of all, to depopulate the world. So I believe that I've been almost like pushed into a genetic archetypal reality that is brewing from within my genes to do this. So I'm a descendant of the Sponheims. I was the Sponheim namesake. So we were going to try to preserve freedom in this country because we value it. My family, my father's family, came over here in the 1860s. Right after the Civil War. My mother's side was here in the 1600s. We were the second ship to land off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean there on what is called the Planter. So we have a long-standing attentiveness to the problem of extreme riches and monarchies like the Rothschilds. Now don't fool yourself. This country is being run by a monarchy from overseas. My family history is way more important than you even realize, but I'm only responding to people who are calling me Jewish. So I'm not Jewish in any way, shape, or form. So just bear in mind, this is not something that's just going to go away on its own. It takes centuries to build up strength like this castle right here, which is still standing to this day. It's a live picture of it. So with this type of intent and integrity that's built into my genotype, you can only imagine how fearful these scumbags are of potential problems that will arise because they are pushing too far against the ultimate goal, which is our country stabilizing itself and getting itself back on track. We cannot possibly. I'm denying I'm Jewish. I said, you have a hard time tracking somebody? I come from a castle in Germany, you freak. What the hell? I'm as German in my original roots and my ancestry as anybody could be. My family migrated to Norway in 1100 AD, leaving the castle behind. No, I'm not. They left before the Nazis started their little rampage. We didn't sell out to the Rothschilds. Hitler did. You don't understand what I'm talking about, do you? Hitler was bought by the Rothschild family and the Windsor family, and various American investors who worked for the Rothschilds, like the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts. These are people that work for the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds have owned the world for centuries. I'm actually Catholic. I was raised Catholic. You're related to Queen Elizabeth? Yeah. And the Windsor family actually was trying to create they did not want a Bolshevik revolution in England. So the Windsor family put together finances behind Hitler. That's why Neville Chamberlain went out to see Hitler and try to broker a deal. And he came back to England and said, "There will be peace in our time." Famous peace in our time. The next day, Hitler started another war. I am not albino, no. I am Norwegian German stock. The gamma is messing up your eyes? Are you serious, really? Just don't go out in the sun or try to avoid going into the sky, outside. I mean, stay indoors, man. I left the Catholic Church, Beekman. I told you that at the age of 11. I took my communion and I left the Catholic Church. I told you that, man. I will not acknowledge this current pope. Pope Francis is not a pope to me. No way. I want to play a video that really embodies my thanks for all the efforts the Jewish people have had in building an empire of banking and borrowing and lending and profiting. And the Jewish people also have almost ingrained themselves in the American Medical Association and now comprise over 85% of the U.S. doctors and the lawyers. And they've been doing such a great job. They do charge a lot, $500 an hour for a good lawyer and $5,000 an hour for a good doctor. But let's face it, I mean, just say thanks and let's move on. Let's get more opportunity for average of people to become doctors, lawyers, and bankers and entertainers, okay? But let's say thanks right now to all the Jewish people. Thank you.
Did you know that there is a group of people out there that does an incredible amount of good for us and yet is truly underappreciated?
Who are you talking about?
Jews.
Oh, so what did Jews do for us?
The real question is, what don't Jews do for us? Well, let's start with money. You like money, right?
Sure, who doesn't?
Well, maybe you should check out who has been greasing the monetary machine. Look at the great people who have been busy heading the Federal Reserve, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and other large financial institutions.
Wow, I knew Jews were good with money, but I didn't know they were responsible for running the world's money supply. Thanks, Jews.
Well, what about entertainment and information? You like media, don't you?
I sure do.
Have you ever thanked the people who own almost all of the media outlets in the Western world? That's right. Jews are behind our movies, television, newspapers, magazines, radio, and more. They have been burdened with entertaining and informing us all, men, women, children, and grandparents alike. And I don't think they get enough credit for their wonderful achievements.
Wow. I never realized how much my mind has been shaped by Jewish brains. Thanks, Jews.
Now, you like buying things, right?
Yeah, of course.
Did you know that Jews play leading roles at many of our country's top corporations? Now, I already mentioned banks and media, but what about property managers, manufacturers, merchandisers, communications companies, technology titans, and the rest? You will find that they are all kosher, just like all of our food. You know, when you see the number of yarmulkes in the boardroom, it really makes you want to say,
"Thanks, Jews."
You took the words right out of my mouth. And what about security? You want a government that protects you, right?
Of course, but you mean to tell me that Jews are responsible for that too?
Now, some people do recognize that there are a lot of Jews working overtime within the government bureaucracies to pass fantastic legislation, regulating business, enhancing education, revolutionizing our military, and controlling dangerous guns. But what most do not realize is that Jews are so concerned with our security that they have dual citizens from Israel here working in top positions of our government, monitoring threats to our country, putting us first and foremost.
That really is selfless of them. Thanks, Jews.
And do you know who has been enriching our lives with delightful diversity over the years?
I can take a guess.
And you'd be right. Jews have been behind America's immigration policy and civil rights movement for decades upon decades, ensuring that our country is multicultural and vibrant. Without Jewish influence, this would be such a bland and boring place to live. We know who to thank for all of the wonderful new additions to our land.
Thanks, Jews. They just care so much about making this a better place to live.
I think you're really starting to get the picture. This group of people, only 2% of our population, has been leading the way in banking, media, corporations, government, and almost everywhere else. I just don't think enough people realize the great work that they are doing. This modest people, chosen by God, really needs to be recognized for their humanitarian achievements so that the people of our country and the rest of the world can stand united and speak with one voice, saying, Thanks, Jews.
It just warms the cockles of my heart. All the work that they've done to help create the business community that we have in our country, and all the expensive health care that we are currently getting. And they've really raised the bar in a lot of areas. You have to admire Israel in some ways in saying that they have the most patents of any country in the world. So there are a lot of good thinkers there. So let's not discredit Jewish people when we talk about hating Zionism. All right? Please do not associate Zionism with Jewish people per se. Zionism is being perpetrated by a group called the Rothschilds. And these people have total control over 160 banks, including the Federal Reserve. And I'm going to get very clear here. They pose a danger to the country's viability because they are pulling our purse strings. They don't want to fund growth operations of American industry or labor. They want to exploit cheap labor overseas. This is where they can make most profit. They don't want to build a job market or a product line in America. They don't want to make our country better. These Zionists are the real culprits. So don't go out hating on Jewish people just because they happen to, have a state of Israel in their name. It's not their choice per se. You've got to understand this whole plot was put in play when the Zionists put Hitler in charge of Germany, and he had him imprison all the ethnic Jews, all the minorities and ghettos. See, certain people were not in any way, they didn't want other competition to control the world. And the Rothschilds at one time worked as court Jews. They're a German family that worked as court Jews for the Jewish royalty in Germany. So they advanced by being the money tenders and money lenders and making a lot of money screwing people over financially. So now we've got people like Evelyn Rothschild, who Beekman, by the way, has met literally in the back door of the Democratic and Republican Party. And the Masons are working hand in hand at the top level, are working hand in hand for the Rothschilds. And they were part of the formation of the two-party system, and even Washington, D.C. The Act of 1871 shows how powerful the Rothschilds were when they controlled the origin of Washington, D.C. itself, and how our country now is virtually running as a corporation. The U.S. corporation, the United States is a corporation. So if you don't understand that, you don't realize that, well, they have a vested interest in turning a profit from this corporation. So being there, they run the monetary system in the country through the Federal Reserve. They definitely want to have I'm going to put some pictures up here for you for just a second. They definitely want to have total control over everybody, including the two-party system. So a third party is not on their agenda. We were attacked. Our name was they tried to take our name from Twitter about 2 years ago. And when I say they, I mean the Rothschilds, the group of people that run other corporations tried to do that. And I'm going to write about it. It's in my book. But they had a plan to control the third party. They never wanted this to happen. You can call me whatever you want. I'm still going to be your president. Yes. And you better hope that I'm your president. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a hole with these two parties. These people are puppets for the New World Order. They'll do the bidding of whoever pays them. Hillary, no matter whether she's real or fake or an impersonator, is absolutely in their back pocket. Trump is absolutely in their back pocket. He's a complete clone, basically, of every Wall Street executive that wants to dominate the world. He essentially, in fact, we may have two clones running for office. We're not really sure. They're trying to make criticism of Israel tantamount to racism. Well, David Rose, Trump is completely a buffoon. He actually believes, I'm going to ban you, David. He actually believes that ISIS is a real entity that somehow was created by Hillary and Barack. I mean, he's contradicting himself in his rhetoric. Trump thinks ISIS is a real threat and he wants to go out and attack these people, and he goes after Muslims, when he himself said that ISIS was created by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, which is something I said in my chat room 4 or 5 years ago, or 4 years ago. So, I mean, unless he understands what he's talking about, he really is kind of caught in his own rhetoric. I want to see if there is a Minnesota Mall attack. We'll find out. Thanks. You know, I really don't want to elaborate on the fact that Hitler was Jewish. His father was Jewish. Technically, his mother being not Jewish would make Hitler not Jewish. But it doesn't matter. That's the point. He was a Zionist. He was put in play. He didn't even want to kill the Jewish people, according to Netanyahu. And I'll show you that. That's an interesting story. Netanyahu said that a Muslim basically put a Muslim was basically the person who ordered Hitler to kill the Jewish people. Let me bring you an article from, I believe it's Hearts. Yeah, there it is. If you haven't seen this, this is really interesting. Now, I'm not trying to defend Hitler in any way. I consider him a despot of the highest order. Let's take a look at what Netanyahu said. He said that Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews. Prime Minister tells World Zionist Congress that Hitler only wanted to expel the Jews, but Jerusalem's Grand Mufti convinced him to exterminate them, a claim that it was rejected by most accepted Holocaust scholars, but still Netanyahu's on record talking about this. Thank you.
Community in 1920 and 1921, 1929 were instigated by a call of the Mufti of Jerusalem, Haj Amin al-Husseini, who was later sought for war crimes in the Nuremberg trials because he had a central role in fomenting the final solution. He flew to Berlin. Hitler didn't want to exterminate the Jews at the time. He wanted to expel the Jews. And Haj Amin al-Husseini went to Hitler and said, if you expel them, they'll all come here. So what should I do with them? He asked. He said, burn them. And he was sought in during the Nuremberg trials for prosecution. He escaped it. Later died in cancer after the war, died of cancer in Cairo. But this is what Haj Amin al-Husseini said. He said, the Jews seek to destroy the Temple Mount. My grandfather in 1920 seeks to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this lie is about 100 years old.
Wow. I'm going to copy that. You know, I have no ill feelings for Jewish people. Even Netanyahu, I don't consider him a bad person. Some of you may hate him. Some of you are xenophobic about your hatred for Israel. But you could be xenophobic about your hatred for Muslims like Donald Trump. So let's just try to balance out our rhetoric tonight and realize that the pathway to peace is somewhere in the center. Now, I'm going to give you a simple solution. It's 9/11, by the way. It's 9 p.m., 11 minutes past the hour. It's heavy. That's the day that Hillary was replaced by Shillery. Okay, let me show you a picture of Teresa Barnwell, and you tell me if this is Hillary, because she's appearing as a Hillary fake. And she's always done a lot of Hillary activities. Teresa Barnwell was a Hillary match back in the day. She's not quite the woman that's being promoted now, who I think is a better body double than Teresa Barnwell. This is Teresa Barnwell early on when Hillary was First Lady. And I believe that this picture with Ellen DeGeneres is also, thank you, is also Teresa Barnwell. It just looks like her. That's the fake Hillary. Okay, now let's get to the real fake Hillary, the one that may be a clone. You're with her? So some of you are willing to vote for a clone, a body double, and I understand that Hillary literally was taken in right away after that 9/11 event. Her bone structure is slightly different. The lines in her face is different. She's the new Hillary, the new improved Hillary, is about 20 or 30 or 40 pounds lighter. You can see that in the picture. She came right out after 90 minutes in her daughter's apartment, which happens to be a medical facility, by the way, in case you didn't know. Her apartment is a medical facility. So Hillary's been getting undocumented medical treatment at her daughter's apartment for years. And this is coming from a woman who endorsed Obamacare, which puts all your records in the public. Your records are forced to be out there, but Hillary's are not. It's interesting. She's got a double ethic when it comes to medical records. I don't want your medical records exposed. I can see how life-threatening illnesses like serious terminal illness should be available to insurance companies, but that's about it. They shouldn't be looking at your specifics or analyzing your DNA. Okay, the Air Force has grounded 15 F-35 Joint Striker fighters because of peeling and crumbling insulation, folks. Now, these are the planes that fly over my head on a daily basis and literally are trying to destroy my eardrums and fracture my liver. According to experts, that's exactly what's happening. Epidemiologists have warned us that this is an ongoing problem with jets flying overhead. So now they've grounded a bunch of these because of peeling and crumbling insulation. We're looking at airplanes that are overworked, not the best airplanes on Earth. We're going to talk about their efficacy as airplanes in the upcoming video. I'm going to play you a really good F-35 video showing how bad they are. Initially, they show you the entire Lockheed Martin video brochure for the F-35. Then they talk about the dangers of the plane. And that'll be starting up at 9:30. Okay, this is a setback, the latest for the $400 billion system, which is estimated to cost $1.5 trillion over a 10-year period. It's the most expensive in the history of the Pentagon, and the problem comes as the program, which for years faced billions of dollars in cost overruns and significant schedule delays, had begun to make strides. They recently said it had flied stealthily under the radar into enemy airspace. But they can prop it up all that we want. The bottom line is these things are falling apart. They weren't that well made. And it's turned out to be a terrible boondoggle plan for a company that really deserves to put out better products. And I don't want to just throw Lockheed Martin away and get rid of them. But I'm not going to increase the military budget by a large amount like Donald Trump wants to do. I'm actually going to shrink the budget by 50%. In fact, I've been saying that way before Jill Stein, who's now saying that. We're going to try to get the military budget down and get much more effective, lean, mean, unmanned vehicles created. And I've even talked about turning the F-35 into an unmanned aircraft bomber. Yeah. So I've never been to Kosovo like this scumbag keeps claiming. Well, we're not going to give anything away for free. That's bad business. It was only 10 of the F-35s grounded. Parts from one subcontractor caused installation problems. Okay, whatever. You're defending this? You're a Democrat, you're defending the F-35? Wow, you really are a scumbag. So you got a Russian T-50 that could seriously kick some butt. We've seen it flights. When it first came out, the Russian T-50 proved to be much more effective, could fly twice as fast as the F-35. And it's kind of a version of the F-35 with its stealth construction, in a way. Thanks. But in no way are we just going to throw away a beautiful plane that we spent billions on. Thank you. You don't like drones? Oh, okay. Whoa, wait. We got a big, huge problem here. Lone Patriot actually believes that we're going to be able to stop the robot and unmanned aerial vehicle technology. Wow. Okay, and what hole in the sand do you want to stick your head, Mr. Ostrich? I mean, come on, man. You're not going to stop robotic development. If we stopped in our country, we would be uncompetitive with countries like Japan, of all places. Yeah, I heard Obama sending Syrians to Bellingham, yes. He's sending 25,000 refugees into the state of Washington. He's planning 137,000 in the U.S. by the time he's ready to leave office. And Hillary wants to pick up on that same number. Yep, he's sending 500 Syrians to Bellingham. That is correct. I've been against this from the get-go, folks. I mean, I'm the no refugee original birther candidate, man. Donald Trump is now bending on the birther issue, and I told you a couple weeks ago that he would not, actually a couple of months ago, I said he would not prosecute Obama. He will not prosecute Obama. He just won't. Because he's part of the establishment. Yeah, you just have to look pretty closely and see that Donald Trump met with Henry Kissinger. He's part of a New World Order agenda. As long as he's greedy enough to want to be president, they'll play him long enough to use him, just like they used Adolf Hitler, until they need to dispose of him. That's how it works. And I think Donald Trump kind of unwittingly believes that he's going to be able to get ahead of them if he gets elected. You can't get ahead of your masters. I mean, I don't have a master. I personally dislike a massive amount of authority in this country. I really dislike it. And I don't answer to anybody. So I'm their worst nightmare, and I'm not buyable. So that's something Donald Trump can't say. I'm going to stop everything I can when I become president. We're going to stop Monsanto in their tracks for turning organic farms into non-organic farms and forcing them to pay patent rights on seeds they didn't even order. GMO seeds they didn't even order. I mean, that's got to stop right away. I want to legalize marijuana, and they want to turn that into a big campaign win for us, because, by the way, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton will not legalize marijuana. It's a big winner for a lot of you who understand the benefits of this. And in order to be really American, we're going to have to stand up to this corruption and get accountability. So prosecuting Obama is another way to erase Obamacare. Trump says he's going to repeal Obamacare. He can't. There's no mechanism for him to do that. The only mechanism he can do to repeal Obamacare is to prosecute Obama and erase his name from that document. So Congress will have 6 weeks to come up with another signature, and I won't sign it. I won't sign Affordable Care Act. And I'm going to tell you an idea I haven't mentioned in a long time. And I know that Trump hasn't heard this idea, I'm pretty sure, because it's a rock solid idea. And it's my idea. I've had it for about 8 years. I will not in any way sign any legislation from Congress if it's over 100 pages. So I'm going to automatically force Congress to stop writing mega bills. I will not sign a single piece of legislation that's over 100 pages. It'll limit the amount of pork barrel spending that goes into any kind of a legislative package. And this is not Trump's idea, so he can't steal it right now. Of course, he might. But limiting contracts or limiting signatures on legislation to 100 pages of that legislation is a key way of shrinking government. And it's going to prevent a lot of that backhanded money play that's going on in the Democratic and Republican parties. And who has time to read over 100 pages? Exactly. Thank you, Guest 394. So this is an original idea I came up with 8 years ago, and I haven't talked about it for a couple years, actually. And I'm just bringing it out tonight to tell you that this is fresh and this is new again. We've got these ideas that are really, really very powerful. I would love to be able to read, but the bottom line is most of these bills, like the mega immigration bill, was 1,200 pages. And Affordable Health Care Act was over 2,300, I believe. It's crazy. And all of it's got secret little plans to do death panels for people who are dying, like in Obamacare. They've got plans to RFID chip anybody who's in a hospital. You need to realize these people are up to no good. It's not fun. They're up to no good. Now, we have a lot of great plans to save the country. We've got the Homestead Renewal Plan, which includes a solar rooftop package, which is offering solar rooftops to anybody who has a southern-facing rooftop, but we'll start out with just a lottery system initially, just to get people going on it. But I'm going to ramp up the production of solar panels in the military. And we're going to use these military panels that are created by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to put on top of roofs, just like the one here. Big idea, big plan, but mass producing solar panels and getting them out there at affordable prices will create jobs, and people can start businesses becoming installers. We will offer a 6-week training course, for certification in solar panel installation. And you'll be certified solar panel installer. You'll be able to get these panels. The product will be paid for long-term out of the savings you get from your electric bill. You'll also be saving money on your electric bill, and you don't even have to buy these things. They're going to be paid for over time. They're going to be funded not with your tax dollars, but with renewable energy savings bonds. Much like the war bonds of the 1930s, these things will power up the finances necessary to produce these things. We have another concept, which is to bring our troops home, which Donald and Hillary do not have a plan to do that, and end the Federal Reserve. So that's something that you have to consider. Ending the Federal Reserve is essential in getting them out of our country, and making it a parallel infrastructure bank is the method I'm going to use to bring the wages up to $15 an hour. Because only U.S. companies that get the 2% loans we offer can hire U.S. citizens at a living wage of $15 an hour. Now, all these ideas, along with many more, are in our book, Hybrid Capitalism. You can read about them going to our store. Click on the book icon, and it's 99 cents to download on Kindle. But this is what makes us better than anybody out there. Yeah, it's nice, cow dog. And the Fed is smart. And I'll tell you why. In order to stop the incredible ripoff that the Rothschild family is engaged in, we have to do what Andrew Jackson did. And he's the $20 bill dude, in case you're wondering. At least for now he is. It's really pretty incredible to note that Andrew Jackson tried desperately to keep a Bank of America from forming. A First National Bank of America. And this was a Rothschild plan. He knew that. And he did everything he could to stop him. And this is a very, very strong and courageous man, Andrew Jackson. Brilliant, too. And this is almost unbelievable that he was put on the $20 bill by the Fed. It's a slam in his face, because they're saying, look, what have we done to you? We can buy you up. We're going to keep our currency. Thank you. We're going to keep our currency the way it is. But once we have an infrastructure bank running parallel to the Federal Reserve by the end of 27, we're going to try to retire the Fed. It will require Congress to agree, but we got a lot of work to do politically to make that happen. But once we get 2/3 of Congress to agree to this, we can retire the Fed and move on with our infrastructure bank. I don't want to leave our country hanging out to dry. We'll have the same negotiated relationship with the Treasury as the Fed does right now. We'll have a 2% window of opportunity. You're surprised I praised Andrew Jackson? Are you kidding me? One of the greatest presidents we've ever had. Teddy Roosevelt, another amazing president, kept the big railroad industry and the steel industry from taking over our country and becoming even bigger. But then we've had all these lame presidents that haven't done a damn thing to support and protect our industry, like Barack Obama and like George W. Bush. You know, George W. Bush shocked the Texas oil industry when he was a governor, and he didn't stand up for them and prop them up in any way when OPEC took down our oil prices or raised our oil prices. Bush was silent. He didn't do a damn thing to protect his own oil industry. It was absolutely crazy. I'm going to ask you another question. Why can't you think about our economy in some different terms? Many people are like torn about the idea of a mixed economy. They don't understand that this is already a blend of capitalism and socialism and communism. Our economy is being run by a communist junta government right now under Obama. They've implemented unnecessary regulations and disavowed the power of small businesses. They've pulled the guts out of the very infrastructure of our nation and undermined our ability to function. The Obama administration and the Bush administration both did not provide American jobs, except for token jobs for census bureaus or whatever Obama spent on censuses. Bottom line is, he has done nothing to save our nation and build jobs. You can't create a New Deal experience in America when your president said, well, make no mistake about it, the government is not responsible for creating jobs. What an idiot. Of course the government is responsible for creating jobs, so are businesses. We're all in this together. But to define things as either capitalist or socialist or communist is absurd. All right, that reaches 2-minute mark on the end of our regular broadcast. We'll be doing a nightly video show into the evening where we give you all kinds of fun and interesting videos to watch. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm impressed. Yeah, the government should create jobs, and it does create jobs. It creates government jobs. Yeah. You need to get your entire mindset, all you Republicans and Democrats need to start thinking of this as a blended pathway with both of your inputs involved. I don't possess a degree. You know, I chose not to be indoctrinated into the communist academic community at UCLA. I'm too intelligent for that. You don't need to read about the government creating jobs in the Constitution. The government has a fluid ability to do a lot of things. It has a floating ability to do a lot of things. I respect the Constitution, and I certainly will abide by it. But we are dealing with a lack of constitutional respect in our current government. And Trump wants to undermine the Constitution by denying people their freedom of religion, Muslims. And he also wants to undermine the 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law. I don't believe the government is overreaching when we fix up houses and that people in the private sector are letting remain abandoned because they want to look like they're not underwater. Okay, Scissor Fight has a question. Was the Manhattan event tonight a drill? The dumpster a drill? 15 minutes from 66 U.S. Patriot on our docket tonight to watch. Interesting. We know so many false flags have gone in front of the American people over the past 5 years. That wouldn't surprise me. It's very telling that I'm an open person to the idea of the government competing in the free market. And if you read my book that I wrote with Sarah called Hybrid Capitalism, you'll understand that the government can compete in the private sector. There's nothing preventing it. In fact, if we do, we'll have a turn a profit and we'll actually not have to tax you as much. And now the theory that Hillary was collapsing is becoming another story, possibly a hoax, that she was a mannequin dummy.
Already covered this in a previous video.
Russian Vids talks about her being a mannequin dummy. That looks really good too. Okay, let's go to that one right now. We'll hear the entire speech of the Haitian dignitary, the president of Haiti, talking about how the Clinton Foundation tried to bribe him. All these real important truths are coming out about Hillary right now. The government competes in what free market? Exactly. Could you specifically tell me? Because they have a pretty much an ironclad hold over the contract bidding internationally on weapons production. It's not a free market. Are you somewhat retarded? So that's an interesting thing. Let's take a look at this theory that, oh God, we'll have to play this one again too. This is unbelievable. Joe Biden saying that do you know how horny I am to a 13, look at this. This is just insane. Look at this.
All right, come on, slide in.
Thank you. Mikey, do you want to come over here?
Would you just look at this?
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's something pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's something pervy here as he leans in for a kiss.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Talk about my daughter Ashley about the film. Now, somebody said in the chat room, jokingly, I thought, that there's a film of him with his daughter. I mean, I'm beginning to freak out, and I had never heard the audio on this clip. It always looked freaky to me when he was leaning over and talking to her, but this is the first time I've heard it tonight. I'm going to send you a link to this. You can decide for yourself. What is going on with the Joe Biden thing? Yeah, that's just unbelievable. Well, Cowdog, I can tell you that Forex has obviously got big players. And if you look at even the COMEX Mercantile Exchange, New York Mercantile Exchange, you would know that silver and gold have been fixed at certain levels for the past 7, 8, 9 years since the subprime mortgage debacle. If you understand the nature of hard currency versus real tangible metal, and how the stock of paper silver and paper gold has completely altered the gold and silver markets over the years, then we could talk. But since you're even unable to understand that, and you still think that the Forex is a free market, you're an absolute idiot, and you're not even worth the time of day to talk to you. You know, I was a big fan, and I remember when I said I was a big fan of Biden, because when he was running against Hillary, I wasn't a big fan of Hillary. I was a Democrat. We're talking 2007 here, okay? And I can tell you that if I were to sit back and just accept this idea that Biden is being poorly heard, like some of you Democrats are saying, I'm open to whatever you want to tell me now about Biden. I'm completely shell-shocked by what I just saw. The more you learn about creepy Uncle Joe, the more disturbed you become, yeah. I know I said it about Biden. I'm not going to retract the statement because it's obviously a statement I made, but I had no idea he was this weird. No idea. So we're all able to adjust our opinions as time goes on. Even you Trump supporters are beginning to realize that he's not in any way going to prosecute Obama. In fact, his camp is saying that he believes Obama was born in the U.S., and that's why you signed on to Trump in the beginning. All right? I get that. So we haven't done our little song and dance tonight. I have to do my little dance before I play that video about Hillary. Somebody believes that Hillary, the entire thing was a massive hoax. I'm trying to piece this together. Why would she want to pretend to be dying? I just don't. I think that there may be a cover-up here of a cover-up. Okay, I'll see what you got there. Oh, the explosion. I'm good with that. We don't think it was a real event.
Hi guys, still September 17th.
And Kafka's World has got another video. sinkhole causes radioactive waste to leak into Florida's largest water sources. Wow. We'll put this environmental into Kafka. Winston World does some good work. Good research. I like her. I never really understood why she endorsed told people to watch William Mount's videos. That was just the foolish thing she could say. She was amazed that William Mount was a Luciferian, or a Lucis Trust member, I should say. And then ever since she endorsed him, his numbers went up to 22,000. Now he's up to around 78,000 subscribers. And he's making money left and right as an AdSense whore. It makes me sick to think we had him on our show. To find out he sided with Lucis Trust. He became the 400th member, he said, to Lucis Trust. Which is bizarre. Aligning with Luciferians at the UN. I'm totally against the UN's involvement in our country. Man, we have a lot of problems to deal with here. Environmental problems are just absolutely critical at this point. Oh, so Obama is basically, Michelle Obama hints that she's not leaving the White House in 2017. Really? What does she know that we don't know? Russian Vids has another story about that. See, I set my mark for 9:30, and you know I can never leave on time because I've got to add all these links. It's amazing. So what does Michelle know about staying in the White House? What kind of a big event is coming? Sneaky, sneaky. Scissorhide has a link there. Take a look at that. Yeah, the huge sinkhole.
Hi guys, still September 7th.
All right, we're getting close. Got to go through every one of my links, make sure I'm on the new list. New Clinton stuff coming in. The 9/11 newsletter. The 9/11 health letter from an expert doctor on Clinton's health care. This guy right here, if you haven't seen him already on the internet, he really believes that Clinton has Parkinson's disease, and he's a doctor. He says she has all the indications of it. A person carrying a dummy, and that's going to be an interesting video to see right now. Right here, right now. And Truth Warriors, yeah. Gosh, we got so many great links coming tonight. We'll be out there playing videos till 2 in the morning if you want to come in and hang out with us. I heard about the CIA cocaine crash that's finally being revealed that happened many years ago, yeah. Interesting. That's a pretty credible link from Anonymous. All right, so let me just put a qualifier here before I do the can't stop video or audio. I'm a realist. I'm also an idealist, and I'm also a pragmatist. So within that entire spectrum, I have to always temper my idealism. And when I want the government to get a return on investment, I don't want it to get too big and create a bureaucracy. And I think the New Deal is exactly that. It was always a bureaucracy that could never trim itself. So every single plan we put together will have a limit to the size of the government operation, in which we then divest it into private sectors, offering it up for sale, then making money for the government in the process. So say we put in a massive plan to put kiosks at every parking facility in America, sponsored by the federal government. Now, every parking facility that's been built in America does not have a kiosk where somebody can sell coffee to somebody who goes to their car and parks and rides. Every single area in the country could easily have a federal kiosk opportunity for making some money. So a person would rent that kiosk for, say, $500 a month and would be able to sell their wares there. And they would have another kiosk, a couple of them around parking areas. This is just an idea. Because it's not being exploited by any private venture capitalist, the federal government can move in and make these kiosks. We have the ability. We then make enough money on the kiosks, and we realize we can keep using that money to make more, and we realize we don't need to make more money on the kiosks. We could just charge a fee to a corporation to handle the operation of the kiosks, or sell them outright to a company, because there are too many kiosks and it's too burdensome. This is just a hypothetical. I'm just giving you an idea of how to downsize the government. So when I talk about government operations, it's not from a socialist or communist perspective. It's from a way in which the government can get a return on investment. Okay, they have found a second bomb in Manhattan. Okay. No, there is no impeding traffic. People get their car, they park, and they sit there by the bus stop waiting for the bus to take them to their job. All across the country, there's these park and ride facilities. Yet there's no kiosks at any one of them. There's a tremendous opportunity even to put in coin vended machines. We haven't even done that. Really, it's a pressure cooker bomb? Okay, they found it. All right, well, we're not going to not take this seriously if it is a second bomb, but really? Do we know anything yet? And Bayer has bought Monsanto for $66.6 billion. It's a done deal. The merger is going forward, and Satan is devouring the earth with pesticides. There you go. And I guess they settled on the $66.6 billion because it was such a good number. That's special. All right, I guess we're here now. We can leave. Okay, what we got? Bombing looks like a drill to be. Yeah, Scissor Fight made a good point, yeah. UK is putting out Nigel Farage's website. Yeah, thanks, yes, 4806. 24/7, we have to be on guard, yeah. This is a nonstop effort to create a buzz about a third party, and I've done this show continuously, every day, except Sundays. So we take a day off tomorrow. But I've been doing these shows continuously for 8 years now. And we're not stopping, and we can't stop. We got to keep this rolling. We are going to do it. And here's our theme song, by the way, that'll keep this rolling. Original by Scissor Fight. And we'll go right into the videos right after that, talking about the whole Clinton dummy thing. If Clinton was put out as a dummy going into just the whole thing is weird. It'd be fun to watch. We are living in strange times, Confucius say. Take care, everybody.
We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, can't stop.
So let's be clear. In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop.
First we hit them low, then we hit them high. Underrated, but we made it to the finish line. Rhymes designed to combine and intertwine. Spring to the summer, fall, even winter time. Beats banging harder, then head on collisions. We make incisions with precision and good decisions. Causing double visions if you ain't up to speed. You need to speed it up, partner. Piano lead.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Okay, good night, everybody. Take care. I'll see you on Monday for Conspiracy Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific. Take care. Good night.
I want to go into a little bit more detail with Hillary Clinton, what supposedly happened to her this past 9/11, when she supposedly collapsed the ground, just like the Twin Towers collapsed back in 2001. I got a little bit different angle here. It's basically a flipped angle of this, but it's a better perspective. You can definitely see, without a shadow of a doubt, what's taking place. It's nothing more than a dummy. What it all boils down to, this is all fabricated 100%, which, again, if you watch my previous videos, you'll understand it's all setting up where Hillary Clinton will be removed from the equation. And this will be setting up, which I believe, where Barack and Michelle Obama remain in the White House. Let's take a look at this footage. Then I'll show the other aspect, clearly demonstrating you saw here was a dummy collapsing, not Hillary Clinton. They're not going to risk, using anybody as part of this hoax, this psyop. They're using a dummy. It's much easier to do, again, without the chance of someone actually getting hurt, because they knew that this person was going to take a head or go face down. They'd rather just do it with a dummy. Take a look. I'll point it all out once again. One thing I want to mention, the whole point with the coin or whatever metallic object dropping, it's just a distraction, just like the magic trick. Now let's take a look here. As you see, Hillary, this dummy of Hillary, stiff as a board. The arms are behind the back. I'm going to show much closer perspective of that without a shadow of a doubt. Some people say the reason her hands are behind her back was she's supposedly being arrested. That's the biggest crock of you-know-what I've ever heard. They're not going to arrest Hillary. These people like the Clintons, the Obamas, the Bush family, these people are high up, much higher up than the police. They own the police when it all comes down to it. They control them. Okay? Understand that. Now, let's play this video. Continue on. I'll point more things out with this dummy. Okay, forget the coin. See this woman here. We're going to get a close-up. You can see she basically lets go. Again, you're going to see the arms behind the back. This woman here lets go of Hillary on purpose because it was meant for this dummy to collapse. It's all symbolic with 9/11, again, with the Twin Towers collapsing, of course, back in 2001. Watch as she lets go right here. Okay? Just has her, then, okay, I'll let her go, and then she collapses. Now here, you're going to see, again, her leg goes. Watch as she lets go right here. Okay? Just has her, then, okay, I'll let her go, and then she collapses. Now here, you go of Hillary on purpose because it was meant for this dummy to collapse. It's all symbolic with 9/11, again, with the Twin Towers collapsing, of course, back in 2001. Watch as she lets go right here. Okay? Just has her, then, okay, I'll let her go, and then she collapses. Now here, you're going to see, again, her leg goes parallel to the ground, or the dummy, I should say. Keep saying her because, again, it's a representation of Hillary. It's not Hillary at all. Probably sitting down somewhere drinking some wine or who knows what, watching this and just laughing how people, millions upon millions of people around the world believe this garbage. Nothing more than a dummy. If you can't see it, you're a dummy. That's what it comes down to. Get the coin. And watch that foot, watch that leg go parallel. Okay? There you go. Completely parallel. Now this is the vantage point where you can clearly see the dummy's arms are behind the back. This is why the woman is behind Hillary. If this was really Hillary, she'd be side by side holding her, not directly behind her, because her arms behind, the dummy's arms behind. Now you can see the white, this woman's arm's in the way, but you can see the white on the arm of Hillary from her hands. Okay, right there in between. It's kind of hard to see. You definitely see her arms behind her, or the dummy.